Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. So we're gonna be going ahead and starting our stream. I'm gonna be playing my Necromancer tonight. It's gonna be a nice, relaxing day. There's not gonna be a lot of killing, probably a lot of dying because I'm not very good with my Necromancer. In fact, let me check my pet. What is he con to me? He's blue, so I had some really bad luck in I think it was South Row. Yeah, South Row. I could not get a pet to spawn in South Row that was not green to me. I know it's just random. There's no, like, the zone is cursed, but for me, it was kind of cursed. So I am back over in Oasis. Now, I have been told I can go over to Lesser Fae and kill sisters, and we might try that in a little bit, but kind of want to stay over here, do some killing. I did get it to work fairly well for me in this area. Now, I have not tried this spot right here, but these guys do con blue to me. I should be able to kill them. Let me get fear back up. We're gonna be fear kiting these guys, and if any of you have suggestions on the best way to do that, now the way I've been doing it is to use engulfing darkness to snare them. They come after me. I kind of move away for a little bit, let fear pop back up. Go ahead and cast it. That way I can kind of mitigate the amount of damage I actually take, and he resists it, so I'll go ahead and kite him around for a second, let the pet and get on him. Wait for it to repop. Give it another shot. And that must have got, yeah, interrupted. Maybe I didn't stop all the way. There we go. So now we got that on him. I'm going to use Poison Bolt. Now, a little bit of the damage he should have taken from Engulfing Darkness because he was running at me without fear on didn't get to take, so there's going to be a little less damage in there, but I'm hoping it's still okay. I used quite a bit of mana on that fight. Maybe I'm doing it very inefficiently, but until I get the hang of things, this is the best way I figured out how to do it. Now, he's low on life. Seems like fear has worn off, but Poison Bolt is still on there. Engulfing Darkness is still on him. Those two alone should kill him, and my pet's doing, yeah, it's not too bad. Looks like Engulfing Darkness is worn off. A Poison Bolt is still on. And we got him. We got him. So, yeah, easy kills, guys. Easy kills. We'll stick with blues. We'll loot the corpses, because why not? Let's see if there's anything on them. These guys really don't drop anything very often. There's another blue over here, so let's give that guy a shot. Let's get Poison Bolt, and we'll tell our pet to attack. And then sit down. And this is probably not a good spot to sit down, so I'm going to come over here to the beach. I've learned my lesson many times already. Don't just sit down anywhere. You're not super protected. Alright, so 11 damage. Looks like fear is worn off. That's about average. I mean, you know, if I get lucky, that's about average. If I get very unlucky, fear seems to work for about a half a second. And that's about it. 51% mana. Let me put up my my experience bar right there. We can kind of take a look at that and see how much we gain. Ooh, it's so minuscule. So minuscule. And I have to be doing more than 51% with those two dots on there. We might try something a little higher than blue. Maybe an even con. Nah, I'm kind of staying away from yellows, even though that's amazing experience. Slow and steady might win the race. There's a blue over here. Let me see if I can snag that one. Poison Bolt. Now, I was using initially Heat Blood, and Heat Blood does do... didn't even put my pet on there. Heat Blood does do a lot more damage. Unfortunately, it costs a good amount of mana in return. Looks like he's coming after me. So, let's kite him around. It means I won't be able to attack him. Fear Spell has worn off. Engulfing Darkness is still on, but it's not hitting him for the full amount. He should die here fairly soon. There we go. Now he's on the pet. And so that's been my routine right there. That's how I level up. Oh my god. Cripple on me. Spawned right in front of me. He's yellow. If I was fuller or a little bit higher on mana, maybe full mana, I would try the Crypt Mummy. I've killed him before in the past. I know it's possible. I don't feel comfortable at 43%, and I'm really low on bone chips. In fact, I'm maybe... Yeah, I'm only at 9 bone chips, so I don't want to zone too much. So if he walks away, he walks away. I'm okay with losing mobs. I'm not okay with dying again. Yeah, so he's going to run off and be somebody else's problem for a little bit. He may come back, and we may end up actually killing him once we're full mana, but until then... So it's a different style of gameplay for sure. I'm used to a more, you see a mob, you pull a mob, you kill a mob kind of thing. You don't let mobs get out of your range. You don't bypass experience. Soloing, you got to pick your fights, and you got to be very, very careful about who you go after and who you don't. So we got a few people here in front of us that we could kind of come after. Deepwater is red, so we're not going after him. Sand Scarab is blue. They seem pretty easy. They do seem to resist fear a little bit more than the Caimans. And that's saying something since the Caimans resist fear quite a bit lately. So I don't know if there's a way to like improve. Yep. So we'll see, let's see what kind of experience we can get up to. Let's go ahead and grab this Scarab. He's blue. It doesn't take more than maybe 30% mana. And that other guy was coming back, so we might have to worry about that guy adding gear in a bit, but we'll pull this dude a little further away. Now, you don't want to come too far over here because there are some orcs that you might have to be worried about. There we go. Got fear on him. I have no idea where they went. I wasn't even paying attention, which is not good. Oh, okay, I see where they are. They're way over there. Wow. That is a weird route. I don't think I've ever seen any of my pets take them over there, but I've never pulled them to this corner either. So I'm at 50%. That Crypt Mummy is still running around. I think I'm going to try killing him if I can get up to maybe 70%. Alright, where did he go? I know he's just wandering around out there. And there is another Sand Scarab. Yeah, that's blue. Kind of want to try the Crypt Mummy, though. That should be interesting. But I am trying to loot everything I possibly can on this guy, just because he's kind of twinked. I mean, I'm not going to lie. He does have some pretty decent gear on him. The Sorcerer's Bow, I think, is the best item that I have. But beyond that, like some of his rings, his Dervish Cutthroat insignia ring, that's, you know, he's wearing cloth. on some of his wristbands is really, really not all that great. So he's hit and miss depending on his equipment. He has a Frog the Bonecaster robe, which is, you know, really nice, but Necros, from what I hear, are not very gear dependent. They don't really need a lot of gear if you know how to play them. And that's the trick, is I don't know how to play this guy. So hopefully given it enough time, I'll stop sucking as much. I've already learned, just after my first experience over there, is you got to be cautious. A lot more cautious than I normally am in groups. And I really want that Crypt Mummy to come back. Looks like we might got some company over here. Monk killing some things, so we might have competition. It does seem like we do have a mage over there, but the mage is a lot higher level than I am. They're killing deep water crocodiles, and those are way, way outside my range, my level limit. Hey, Brand, I have considered giving Agnar a shot, and I definitely am going to be doing that. Hopefully with a few of my friends, we'll go over there and kind of play a little bit together. I have been waiting for things to kind of die down a little bit. I want the server to be, you know, very fixed, because I have heard of a few problems they had when they first started out, and some of those have been addressed and some of them haven't. It looks cool. Like I'm kind of looking forward to the day that I can walk through like a new style Everquest that I'm not familiar with, and the upgraded graphics, and just kind of see it. I don't know if that's where if I'll stay there for too long, but I definitely will do some videos over there at some point. Okay, so I'm at 92%. I was hoping that yellow will come back, but if I can stay around 92 or close to that, if he does come back, I'm going to give him a shot at 70% magic. So let's get this guy over here. I'm going to pull him back rather far. I don't like being too much out there. As you've seen already, the Desert Madman and Crypt Mummies, they roam. So let's get Fear on him. We'll go with Poison Bolt. And we'll put our pet on him, which we should have done a long time ago. As soon as Fear was on him, I should have put my pet on him. Now, my pet is blue. I was very, very fortunate to log in, cast my first pet, and it happened to be blue. Now, I am in Oasis rather than South Row. South Row was another nightmare. I could not get a pet other than green in that zone. So he does not like the fact that I put so many dots on him. So I'm going to run him around rather than try to fear him again and waste magic. Just let my pet and my dots beat on him. So now he is done. Let's keep an eye on our back. See if that Crypt Mummy is coming back or not. So I hope all of you guys who are watching had a great Father's Day. Let's see, Deepwater Cayman, Sand Scarab is green. Alright, let's med up to full, and we'll take a look around. In fact, I don't like this spot. Let me move further back. So out of all my spells, I'm really kind of digging the Engulfing Darkness. I'm very used to that. Played a Shadow Knight on live when it first came out, so I know how to use that one with pooling. I know about Heat Blood. Heat Blood is another spell that Shadow Knights get. And Poison Bolt they get too, but it's not very good, or at least the version they have doesn't really do very much. And the Disease Cloud is actually really, really nice for Shadow Knights. However, in Necromancer Land, not so much. Like, this one hits for 1 damage apiece. Maybe I get an upgrade to it later on, but it's pretty pathetic. It doesn't last very long. It's just really, really bad. I don't even really know why I have it up, other than it stacks. Like, it's an extra 1 damage. Something I need to use more often, I think, is Leech. It's really nice. Dark Pact? Why, what does that do? Let me get rid of Disease Cloud and see if I have Dark Pact. It's a level 8 spell. Is it, oh, there it is right there. Okay, so I did pass it. Okay, so it takes my life away and gives me mana. Well, let's give that a shot. Let's come out here, find something to kill. Oh, thank you, by the way. That's actually really, really nice. I've been waiting to get one of those. And to think I already had it this whole time. Not a surprise that I didn't know my own spells, but it's nice to be able to use it now. Let's see, where's this Scarab? Okay. So get him a little further away. Let me check the other side of this mountain. Make sure there's no crypt mummy sneaking up behind me. Okay, come on, Fear. And we'll send my pet in. I'll even go with Leech, because that's an overtime spell. And we'll start doing Dark Pact. Let's see, what does it do? Do I have to keep casting it? Is that how it works? Or does it... No, it stays on me. It's a buff. Hey, Red Cloud. How you doing, man? We're playing my Necro tonight. Just gonna be kind of chilling, doing some solo stuff. None of the guys have been on this entire weekend. I've been playing almost non-stop and haven't seen anybody, so I've just kind of been doing my own thing. There's another Scarab over there. Let's grab that guy. Let's do Fear. Send my pet in. Dark Pact is still on. My light's really not going down. So let's throw another... See, now I'm using Poison Bolt. Maybe you guys can give me your opinions on this one. I'm doing Engulfing Darkness and Poison Bolt rather than Heat Blood. I think Heat Blood's overkill. And it uses a little bit more mana. It's 72 mana versus Poison Bolt 30. Poison Bolt does 5 and... Heat Blood, I think, does 17. It's a lot more damage, but it's not really needed very often. Hey, Arda, how you doing tonight? Happy Father's Day to all you guys. Just loot these up. We're going to need all the money we can get if we're going to buy our level 16 spells, which when we finally do, we get Feign Death. That's going to be nice. Don't use Leech unless you need HP. Leech is inefficient. Okay, so if I am going to need HP, don't use Leech. Maybe use Life Draw? Is that what you're saying? 72 versus 63 on mana cost. Deepwater Crocodile. Really doesn't seem to be draining my life very much. I'm looking at it, as long as I'm sitting down, my life is teetering on being full regeneration. Ooh, a Deepwater Cayman is yellow. We're going to give him a shot. I know I'm kind of pushing it. Yellow is tough. Evens would have been better, but we're at 85 mana. As long as we don't get too many resists, that's what it's going to come down to. Too many resists will kill us. Yep, and there we go. Our first resist. Engulfing Darkness. Oh, and a Crypt Mummy. Fantastic. That's beautiful. So we're definitely going to be zoning that. So Crypt Mummy, I was waiting for it to come back. He used yellow as well. Oh, I can't believe I got to get rid of a pet, man. I don't have that many bone chips. Let's zone it. I think it's right over here somewhere. Nope, more to the right. Thankfully that guy was not roaming, otherwise I would have got aggro there too. Ooh, that deep water came and is booking it. I could strafe, give me might a little bit more, but alright, so let's see what you guys are saying. Don't use leech. All taps in general are pretty bad for efficiency. Nope, just taps aren't generally good. Always prioritize a straight damage spell. Dark Pass fell off. Yeah, it does seem like it's a little short, but if it can make my mana go up, this guy is really dependent on his mana. So we'll put that up real quick again. And we'll sit down for a second, let those mobs go back to their spawn point. Now the gator or the alligator should not be kill on sight again once I zone in. However, I did have that Crypt Mummy on me. I think that's going to be the target that we go after. My mana's still good. Of course, I still have to cast a pet. And depending on how lucky we are there, I might have to cast him several times. But I'm hoping not, because like I said before, I need to make a trip over to the Common Lands and maybe buy some more. I don't have a lot of cash either on this guy, so I might have to load onto my main and do that on that guy. Let's zone over. It should be safe now. And we'll start doing our pet dance. That's 2 HP for 2 men. That's, you know, at least it's even. I'm perfectly fine with trading even amount of HP for mana, considering I don't use my hit points very often in a fight. If I'm doing things correctly, I usually don't take hits. If I'm getting, you know, overwhelmed and, you know, pushing the limit like I did on that one, which I shouldn't have done, then I'll take a little bit of damage. It takes so long for the recast on this. Looks like a busy night over here, though, in Oasis. There's a lot of groups being formed. Oh, thank you. First try, I got a blue. Alright, let's see if that guy is still in the right spot. If not, we're looking for him. Which could cause me to zone again. I know taking on yellows, but he's in my spot. He's in the little area that I'm pulling to. You know, and if I would be taking on a blue and that guy had attacked me, I still think I would have had to have run, so, like, he needs to die. Oh, is that him right there? Yeah, that's him right there. Okay, so let's put on our Dark Pact again. Yeah, he's definitely yellow. Alright, guys, wish me luck. Okay, so that took, thankfully. Fear, he's gonna get one hit on me at least. Oh, so lucky. Alright, we're going to go with Poison Bolt and my big one, Heat Blood. And then let's sit down and let those kind of tick off on them. Yeah, you guys have been asking for a little bit more of the streams without people on, so I figured, we could do that today. Not a lot of... I don't know anybody who's on right now, so... They're all doing things for Father's Day, I guess. I've been kind of jonesing to play all weekend, or, all week, and the weekend was the only time I really had to do it. And I thought, I was okay, I'd get on here, be hanging out with the guys, but, like I said, they're all busy, I guess, so it's just me. Yeah, it definitely is a little bit less hectic when it's just, a couple people or one person. Okay, so I'm going to have to take those hits. Oh my god, that was hard. Woo! Alright, let's get Engulfing Darkness on him again. And I'm going to have to use Leech, because... Wow. That dude just rocked me. Let's see how much life we actually get out of that. And of course, I'm diseased after one hit. Freaking rabies. Here he comes again, you butt. Leave me alone. Kill you with those dots. Okay. I think we may got him here. Okay, so Engulfing Darkness doing full damage. Leech is still on him, but all the other dots have worn away. My pet is killing him. I think we got this. So we are a little sliver underneath 3 bubbles of blue. Last time I killed a yellow Cayman, I got an entire blue bubble. It's a little bit less than an entire blue bubble for the Crypt Mummy. So maybe he was off by a level. Or maybe you just get less experience for Crypt Mummies versus Caymans. I don't know. Yeah, I love the sound of rain or snow or wind. This is one of my favorite zones. Sometimes it doesn't rain in here, though. I mean, it is a desert after all. I looked at the pet last time. I gave him a weapon, and I was kind of worried about that because I thought, the pet is summoned, so I don't know if that technically works because he is magical. But I knew the weapon that I gave him wasn't magical. It was just a regular... I think it was rusty. I don't even think it was like a bronze or fine steel. It was just a rusty weapon that I had picked up off of one of the other skeletons in the zone. And he was able to do damage to him. Like, he was actually hitting him. So I figured maybe it was his fist and not the weapon. Maybe I'm wrong on that? I don't know how well that Dark Pact is going to work now that my life isn't regenerating with rabies. Let's kill one of these Cayman. Now, if you have suggestions, guys, of places you want to see me go on my Necromancer, I am all ears. I have no clue where to solo with this guy. Now, I have read online, they said OT, yeah, Ocean of Tears, they have a sister camp, which is supposed to be around level 14. Some people said that one is actually level 20, and the one at Lesser Fadar, which are the sister camp, that one is level 14. So I'm not quite sure which one is actually what range. Wiki has it in reverse from what people have been telling me. Beyond that, those are the only 2 camps that I even have like a suggestion of where to go. I did try Befallen. It was okay. It was slim pickings because a lot of the stuff there is either too green on the first floor. Oh, my pet is about to die and he's dead. Oh my god. Again, not paying attention to what I'm doing. Darkness is worn off. get him one more dot and switch back to my... I told myself when I logged on today that I was not going to lose a single pet, and I've already lost 2. I bet you more than anything this one's going to be green. Of course. Why, I ain't recasting him, not with 5 bone chips. He's going to stay green. Let's see. I think I did unrest around your level on my Necro. I think somebody did suggest that one the other night. They said to do the beetles in the courtyard, the fear item. I'm kind of curious to see how that actually works. I would assume the other mobs in the courtyard or over next to the maze would add on if they wander out there, but they may not. Like, they may not be social. Either way, unrest is a good spot if it's not already taken. Now, when you say fight in the maze, you mean pull the creatures into the maze and then fear them in there? Or are there actually creatures inside the maze? Because I don't think I ever spent any time in there. Okay, so there we go. Next mistake that I've made. No fear up. Going with Leech on this one. Okay, so what are you guys are saying over here? There are a few spawns in the maze, and after I run through them, if I have the mana and HP, I'll pull into it. I don't even bother with fear at that point unless I'm in trouble. Okay, so you're just doing like a tank and spank, you know, letting your pet do the... Wow, look at him. Book it, dude. Oh, crap. I have to med up for quite a long time after this fight. Necros are kind of fun. I mean, I'm kind of digging them now. It took a while before I got my bearings. You guys will probably see the episodes later this week. Came out with the first one today. It was bad. I really, really sucked with this class. I still do. I'm still pretty horrible, but I'm kind of getting the bearings of how to move the guy around. Definitely where to sit. And what not to risk and what actually to give a shot to. Oh my god, that guy's back already. Crypt Mummy is yellow. Alright, so let's just chill. Get our magic back up. Watch our life. I don't think my life is 171. 170. So yeah, even sitting down is going down. I might have to start playing again soon. I got my Necro to about 32 or so before I got burned out. Did you get burned out on EQ or did you just get burned out on the Necro? Because I find he's kind of an interesting break from my other classes. I have, you know, my main is a cleric, he sits down a lot. He's kind of perfect in a lot of situations for doing the commentary because I kind of not worry too much about what's going on if I'm in the right group and just kind of glance up at the life every so often. And it's almost second nature because I played that character for so long. But I do know what you mean about getting burned out on the game sometimes if you put too much time in, or, you know, you've been going too hardcore into it. The character, though, I never really got burned out on the character. That would be kind of cool. What level did you go to the Sonarch Fortress in the Lake of Omen? I want to go to out of the places, out of the way areas that you won't see groups in, that you won't normally see people in, and kill those crazy mobs. Even if I'm only over there for, you know, an hour, 2 hours, I want to try all of that because I've never really fully embraced a solo character, and I want to do that with this guy because I think he can handle it. He can bind anywhere, so that's good. Feign Death is, I think, going to save my life a gazillion times over when I finally get it. Burned out on EQ, okay. Played a lot for a few months at the time, then don't touch it for about 6 months or so. Yeah, a lot of players kind of go through that. If you push too hard, too fast. I only get to play really on the weekends, so, I mean, it's something I get to look forward to all week. $28, $30-ish. Now, $28, $30-ish, I was also told that I should try out Misty, because the guards over there was a really, really good experience and lots of money. So, might have to switch back and forth between the two and try both of them out. Like I said, even if I only spend like an hour in each spot, I want to see how well they work. Because if this character works out, my thoughts, my plan, if it turns out that way, is to make an enchanter. And from what I've heard, enchanters, they can solo just as well as necromancers. Sometimes even better. It all comes down to skill level. This guy, he gives me a little bit of a buffer zone, a little bit of a safety net. If I fail, I can feign, which, you know, enchanters don't get. I don't have to worry about my pet breaking. You know, my pet is my pet. He stays that way forever. If I'm pulling mobs, I do get a mez, but not a really good one like enchanters do. So, you know, they have their plus and minuses, but I think the Necro is a little bit safer than an enchanter. So I want to get good soloing on this guy first. It might be. I don't go through Misty very often, so I couldn't tell you if those guards are always dead or not. It's one of my least favorite zones. It's small, and I guess if you knew it very well, it'd probably be easy to get through. I don't know it very well, so I always get lost in there. I can never find the way to the exit. So I absolutely hate going through that zone. If I can afford not to, I will skip it. Alright, we should be pretty good on magic or mana. Let's see, we got a scarab up there. What about this other scarab? Green. Everything's green. There is a yellow con roaming around. Need to kill that guy because he spawns over here and he kind of walks back every once in a while. Didn't really get the hang of my Necro into early 20s doing the AVAX and Lake Ratir. I want to go back to the Blue Flame Tower in the lake. It's one of my favorite spots on my Shadow Knight to kind of kill while I was waiting for a spot to open up at the Aviac Tower. And I haven't been able to get back since, so I kind of miss it. Let's see him. Somebody might have killed him. Actually, I don't see a lot of blues, so there might be other... None of these guys are probably wrecking face. There's a blue out there, but I don't want to take it from... Oh, there he might be. Way over there in the distance. I swear I saw him there for about half a second. Oh, he was here. I saw a skeleton standing right here a minute ago. Alright, maybe not. Maybe I'm seeing things. I also want to try the specters with the necromancer. I hear they just absolutely kick the crap out of those specters at a certain stage. I did it on my cleric, and, you know, I could kill 3 or 4 mobs at a time. Ooh, man, my life is going down fast. Let's get the leech on there first. Yeah, I could do 3 or 4 mobs of the specters on my cleric before I was completely out of mana, and then it would take me like half an hour to med up. I think clerics are one of the slowest medding classes out of everyone out there. I could be wrong, but they just seem like they take forever. Can't really decide whether he wants to beat my face in or my pet. Either way, he's about to kill my pet. I'll let the dots finish him off. We'll resummon another one. I kind of wanted that guy to die. I hate it. I hate to waste the bone chips, but I kind of wanted him to die. It's green. It's kind of worthless. If I ever take on a yellow or an even con, he's going to be absolutely worthless to me. Actually, clerics are really, really fun to level up. Very group-oriented, though. Like, if you're not big into groups, then you're not gonna like that class too much. You can solo with them. I've heard some people, they go out there and they kill. Oh my god, another green. Well, I guess it's just not our day. We're just gonna be destined to have greens. Got a blue. Let's go after this guy. Let's get Leech on him again. Our life still hasn't gone back up. Leech doesn't give you very much life. It lasted the entire fight on that guy, and I got jacked for life on that. He's gonna kill my pet again. There you go. I'm not casting another pet. This guy's cost too much. Have you tried any of the newer MMOs like Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online? I actually did a series on Black Desert Online. I got that one a while back, before it came out on the Xbox. Apparently, that just happened a little while back, a couple days, maybe a week ago. Xbox One is now a thing. But yeah, they were doing a promotional thing for one of their new download contents, and you know they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we got this going on. You want to try it out?" So I had never heard of the game before, but I looked at it, and it looked beautiful. I mean, it is a very, very beautiful game. Really, really in-depth character creation. Absolutely amazing what you can do on that. I did an entire episode where I played around with what you could make on there. You could make a character that looks like any movie star, pretty much any build you want. You could probably make it look like yourself. I did a cross between Gandalf, the Grey, and the Insane Clown Posse. So yeah, it's not the most normal of makeups, but man, it's so crazy. And I didn't even touch like 90% of the stuff that you could do in that character creation. Beyond that, the character classes, I didn't fully understand, what they meant. Obviously, it's one of those things where you have to kind of get into it, play around with it, and then you can kind of figure out, oh, does this suit my particular style of gameplay? But I liked it. I liked the game overall. It did seem a little fast. I leveled kind of quickly, and no MMO out there really levels as slow as Everquest. So I don't know why I expect any of the games that come out would ever do that again. But I do like them slower. So, but I think I got up to level 15, maybe. I did like 5 or 6 episodes for it. And then I moved on to some more games. I was doing the 30 days of games at that point. So that was one of the days, and then I moved on to another game, and then another game the next day. I kind of want to go back and try it out again. I've been getting a lot of comments. People want to see more of it. But I haven't tried Final Fantasy. I really wanted to play that one, but I've heard some bad things about it. Some people are fans of it. Some people are not. I love Final Fantasy games. The last couple Final Fantasy games that have come out, though, kind of bad. I hate to say it. I didn't really like... There was one that had this guy. He had a big afro, and he had a little chicken or a little chickie poo in his hair. And it wasn't like the other Final Fantasy games in the sense that open world, go off, level up, pick stuff up, find quests, talk to people. It was, you're going down a certain path, you get to an enemy, there's like a little cutscene. Okay, you defeated that enemy, now you turn right. Like, you have to turn right. In fact, it turns right for you, almost like arcade style, where it's leading you through certain areas, and then it stops, and you have a little bit of control over the next fight. Weird. I mean, that's not what Final Fantasy was really ever about. That was the least favorite one that I ever played, and I haven't really played another one since, but I'm hoping they're kind of return back to their roots and go more to the open world, giant aspect of just amazing zones. There was a Final Fantasy game I played on, I think it was the 360, the Xbox 360. Crazy great. It had these like mercenary hunter guilds that was not even part of the main story. Like, they were in certain towns, you go in there and talk to them. One of the first towns you go to had it, and you could pick up quests. People would be like, oh, there's weird things going on in the sewers, maybe somebody should go investigate. And you'd go down there and you'd find like there's a ghost terrorizing the area, and it's not really a ghost, it's a monster. You kill them and you get a little bit of money out of it, but you also get a reputation. And now when you go back to that house, there's bigger and bigger monsters. And if you did that throughout the entire game, you'd eventually get some crazy gear out of it. It was definitely worth your while. We're going to try this Crypt Mummy again. Hopefully this takes... Oh, yes. That's not what I wanted. Come on, come on. There we go. Okay, so that's on him now. Let's do Poison Bolt. Let's do Heat Blood. Let's do Life Leech. We're going to hit him with everything. And we're going to sit back. Because our pet sucks. He's green. Oh, and fear is worn off. So let's go ahead and hit him with enough fear. And he resisted. So let's book it a little bit. We'll wait for him to come over the hill. He's going to hit us. He's going way too fast. Even with Engulfing Darkness. That's pretty fast. There you go. Now I'm going to hit him with another Engulfing Darkness. I know it's a little bit of a waste of magic, but the other one wore off really quick. Come on, kick his butt. Heat Blood is worn off. That's my big damage dealer there. And here he comes. Let's do Fear. Oh, right there. Talk about holding the line. Jeez. And it wore off already. Well, you know what? We're gonna kite this guy around. I'm not gonna waste too much more on him. I don't think my pet... Yeah, my pet ain't doing jack. So let's get Heat Blood on him again. Probably overkill, but again, he's yellow. %. Did he die? I've slain a crypt mummy. There we go. Holy crap. And we got a pet. I'm not giving the pet to the green guy. He's not worth it. He's not worthy. Let's go back to my little spot. But yeah, so in the Final Fantasy one, I thought that was very unique because it was really enjoyable, but not even part of the main mission. And I miss that in MMOs. They don't do a lot of that, of just kind of go off the beaten path and see what you can see. A lot of it is level based, and you come to an area and everything around that area is the same level. Everquest mixes it up. It always puts like a high level mob in a low level zone. Sometimes you got to go to a low level zone to get high level quest done, vice versa, which really sucks if you got to go to a high level zone for a low level quest. But you know, it mixes things up so that you have a little bit more variance in there. But I still like Black Desert, and I would love to try Final Fantasy. Let's see. I didn't really notice my leech spell doing work until Vampiric Curse at 29. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it does too much. It would probably help right now if I didn't have rabies. I mean, when I didn't have rabies on, that Dark Pact was keeping it even. I wasn't gaining health, but I wasn't losing health. Now I'm actually losing health. I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV and Elder Scrolls Online on my PS4 currently. Modern MMO worlds don't feel as alive as older ones. I think they feel smaller, actually. I think that's... I don't know how you make them feel bigger other than to force people to travel. And MMOs, especially modern ones, hate to make people travel because people hate to travel. They want something they can click on. They want something they can get on a horse and get to one destination A to destination B as fast as possible. And I understand that. Some people don't have hours upon hours to play. And even if they did, they don't want to spend hours upon hours to get from point A to point B. But when you do travel, it makes the world feel a lot bigger. I think everybody has a story, especially on this game, traveling from either Butcher Block or Freeport and making their way to the docks and seeing other people sitting at the docks and talking to them, waiting for the boat to get there. That's another thing. The boat isn't always there. You have to wait for it to get there. And if you just missed it, if you just missed the boat and you see it like floating off in the distance and people are waving to you and you're just kicking yourself because you're just like 30 seconds late. You're just like, oh my God, now I have to wait, an hour, 30 minutes before the next boat comes in. It made the world feel bigger. It definitely made the world feel bigger. Now it's so easy to get around. So easy that just really all you see is that little hunting area that you're in or maybe the town that you go to. But nobody really goes off exploring, especially with games like Everquest 2 is definitely a game that took its name to heart and decided that questing is the way to go. In fact, nothing but questing. You won't go off and do grinding at all. So there's no exploring another part of the zone if there's not a quest to tell you to go to that part of the zone. That shrinks the zone down to just the quest parts. And unfortunately, I guess maybe the programmers either assume later on that they would add things to those parts of the zone or they just never got around to it. But there's a good portion of most zones that don't have any reason to go there other than, let me go see what's over there, like your curiosity. This game doesn't lead you by the nose like that. It's like, go get experience. Figure it out. Find that one spot that works for you. It may not work for anybody else, but it works for you. I've always been fascinated with the PS2 version of EQ. Never played it though. I never played any of those. Some of them sounded pretty good, and the people who have played on the console ones love it. Like they're a very big fan base following of it. But same thing with Mac. Mac was a big following on that one, and there was always like one hang-on server for Macs. And I believe they lost that one not too long ago. But I think p99 works on Macs. So, if you're a Mac fan and you want to play EverQuest, you could play on Project 1999, which is epic, because Sony never did anything like that. They always kept them separate. I thought it was so great that there was an ocean zone that took a long time to travel across on the boat. It really made me feel like the world was... Yeah. And when you get on the boat, even when you finally do get on the boat, you don't just travel from Butcher Block to Freeport, you actually find out that no, there is another spot in the middle, and it's pretty big with a lot of stops along the way. And so when you finally got there, people would get off on the first stop, run around the island, and see the boat take off, and be like, "Oh no, this is the wrong area," and again have to kind of sit there and wait. It sounds like punishment. But because you stopped and you have to wait for the boat, you're just like, I'm going to look around. I got 30 minutes before it gets here. I'm going to take a look around. And then you start finding hunting areas. You start seeing islands in the distance. If you were very, very lucky, somebody hadn't taken the rowboat yet, and you would get in the rowboat and kind of, go off exploring the oceans and maybe find something. And it was all a mystery. Nobody knew what spawned anything. Nobody knew, if there was a named on that island. So you get to the island and there's just regular mobs up. You'd kill for a few hours just seeing if something would spawn for you and seeing if there was like a new item to behold that nobody had ever seen and used and would want for lots and lots of money. There's a deep water croc right there. I'm looking for something blue. Even. We'll go with an even. Come on, fear it. Alright, so he's feared. Let's get our guys on this dude. We're going to go with some heavy dots because he's even. And we're even going to go with leech, even though I think that spell sucks. And then we're going to run over here because I don't like to hunt over there where there's a group, so let him run around as long as fear is on, but as soon as that wears away, he's going to be coming for me. Is that him coming for me right now? No, it can't be, right? My pet's not after him. Actually, that's him. Where did my pet go? Oh, that's not a good sign. If my pet's not on him... then he's getting attacked by something else. He is green, so I'm not too worried about losing him. I'm more worried about what's going to be coming around that corner. This is where Feign would really be nice. Oh, there it is. Desert Madman. He's green. Stupid green mob took out my green pet. I hate you, pet. I have to waste magic on this guy. Well, at the very least, I guess I can leech him. He might actually give me experience the way he's not taking as much damage as I would like. Yeah, he's not going down very much. Let's put heat blood on this guy. Finish him off. There's a crypt mummy out there. Hopefully he does not aggro. I don't think he's social. Ah, yeah, buddy. Run it. Die already, dude. Die. Okay, let's loot those corpses. Sit down, med, and get another... Oh, my God. Another pet has been gone. What am I down to now? 3 bone chips. So this will be the last pet. If I lose this guy, I'm going to have to make a trip to Commons. And I may have to harvest some if there's nobody selling any. So let's get my pet back up as soon as possible. Let's see what we got to work with. Let's see. Makes you really weigh your options as far as committing to traveling to another area. Yeah, and it keeps people in a certain spot. That's another thing that I've noticed in modern MMOs, is because it's so easy to get around. In fact, I even saw it on live when they finally switched over so that you could get around easier. People will sit at the entrance to Seb for a decent amount of time, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, up to an hour sometimes, waiting for a group to show or kind of form, because they made the trek over. Getting through Emerald Jungle and then through Trachodon's Teeth is not an easy journey for a lot of classes. My cleric had a heck of a time doing it on live when, that was a dangerous place to go through. And I always died on live trying to get there on my cleric, at least once. Once I bound, and I stayed in Seb. But because people can, zap around pretty much any zone they want without any fear of having to travel through it, people poke their head in, no group available, okay, I'll go to the next zone. People poke their head in, no group available, I'll go to the next zone. The zones don't feel like they have a community base there, and people are waiting to get into it because they can easily move from one spot to the next. It feels more like games, if you've ever played like matchmaking games for like a first-person shooter. You get into a match with like 5 people, you do like 20-30 minute killing streak, the game's over, you get into another matchmaking one, game over, do another 30 minutes, again and again and again. It feels that kind of mentality to the modern MMO. I'm playing an RPG game, but I'm just getting into a group with somebody for 30 minutes and then moving on to the next one. Doesn't have the same weight, the same meaning as this one seems to kind of encompass. But Pantheon has kind of talked about how they want you to have to travel. And I hope they don't change that at a later date by adding, air travel and all this other stuff, unless it's slow. Like Everquest 2 had a beautiful way of traveling on one of their expansions. They had hot air balloons. And I know World of Warcraft kind of did the exact same thing at one point. Their hot air balloons went over the world, over the zone that you were going to be going through, and you got to see it from a new perspective that you never got to see the game before, because there was no flying mounts in it at the time. This one could have done something like that too, but I want it to be as slow as the boat is, and I want it to be where maybe you can jump off, because you can jump off of a boat and you're in the water, but there needs to be some downside to jumping off, other than like you need levitate. Like there needs to be some drawback, because otherwise people will use that to kind of get halfway through the zone and then jump off and not have to fight anything all the way there. So maybe like instant death, or when you zone or fall off, you zone to a safe spot or something. I don't know. Islands with a Cyclops in this distance and mermaids and stuff. Yeah, and they were just close enough to you that you could see and entice you to be like, oh, maybe I should stop here. Maybe I could go over there and hunt. But they're still far enough away that it was still a bit of a swim if you did jump off. Green yet again. What a surprise. Red Cloud, those were real MMOs. I think the reason they were more in-depth is because they were based off of D&D. And anybody who ever played D&D knew, the nerds, us, the guys that were really into it, because I played D&D a lot. We loved the details. We loved the story, because there's no graphics. You had a piece of paper, maybe you had like a board with maybe a couple figurines if you made them, or you bought a couple or something like that. But a lot of the time it was just a homemade board that you made yourself with, markers, and drew out the dungeon and maybe put a little picture of a dragon in there, or some orcs, or maybe a little thing of gold. And the rest of it was just your imagination. You're sitting around and you're telling a story of your character, your orc, your wood elf that you had designed and leveled up with your friends as you went through this dungeon. So very detail oriented, +5 to stats, +4 to stats. Big difference between the two. The newer ones, more shiny, like graphics, everything, explosions, lights, pixelization. You see it in a lot of the JRPGs, the ones that come out of Japan. They really, really love shinies. So almost to the point of, I played one super overwhelming to the point I couldn't play it. The screen was too bright. It hurt my eyes. Everybody had a flying mount that had like glowing wings and pixels and bright lights coming off of it. Their armor was shiny and pixels coming off of it. Their weapons were shiny, pixels coming off of it. They had little companions running after them, pixels coming off of them. And it was just a mass of colors and lights, and just too much. Everquest, they kind of got into that, and they did a little bit more as time went on, but very, very sparse. Very few weapons had any kind of graphics to them other than the set kind of default, very plain, graphic. And they were like epics. Like you had to do a really long quest to get to that point, so you earned it. I don't think you really earn them as much in the new ones. And a lot of the time, those graphics, the ones that are shiny, they're store bought. Like you can buy them from the in-game store, which makes it even worse because really anybody can get them, and it doesn't take much to do it. Okay, let's kill something easy since we're killing some evens and some yellows, and we got a stupid green with us. And great. I don't even have fear up because I'm an idiot. I don't know how many times I'm gonna forget fear. There we go. My pet got on him. Let's see if he lasts long enough for my fear to go off. Yeah, it was a close fight. Not even long enough. Let's go with Heat Blood. This is my pet's almost dead. Let's see. Feign is on my spell bar 100% of the time. I do not blame you. My Cleric Gate is on my spell bar 100% of the time. I don't use it very often, but in those situations where you wish you had it, I learned the lesson the hard way with my Cleric. You really, really want to have Feign or Gate up. Sometimes the group wants you to gate. Sometimes the group wants you to get... Oh my god, my pet's gonna die. You gotta be kidding me. No! Life draw, life draw, life draw. Oh, yes, life draw for the win. That pet's worthless anyways, but he's my last one. Even with Heat Blood, he still wasn't able to hold his own. Okay, let's sit this guy down. Let's get Dark Pact back up. This is much more interesting than watching your rogue Master Smiles. Yeah, he was what the guy needed to play after I was stressed out playing this guy. Super simple. Click a button. That's it. Rogues. I hate to make them sound like there's not too much to them, but yeah, there's not much to a rogue. Very, very relaxing. Hey, old school lyric. Yeah, I don't really solo very much, really. I'm more of a group-oriented type of person. So this is kind of a weird, special, rare occurrence. Some of you guys have been asking for it. Some of you guys have been wanting to see me solo a little bit, and none of the guys are on, so I don't have anybody to group with at the moment. I might not get to play very much next week, so the weekend was really my time to do this kind of thing. And I thought Necromancer, been watching Super Bits and Bob a lot lately. Something about that guy, his voice. It's weird to talk about another guy and be like, his voice just does it, but man, he has a really good voice, and the way he does his videos are so relaxing and chill. I don't know. I want to watch more. So he's been playing his Enchanter, which is a class I've always been intimidated by, and he makes it look so fun. Like he's going to places like in Najina, which nobody goes to group in Najina. Like it's a horrible place. Those tentacles that have the knockback and the ads that you get in there and trying to get your corpse back if you die. Like it's really, really rough. But yeah, he goes in there and he doesn't just choose a spot like at the entrance. He went really deep and then chose like a weird spot in the middle of a hallway, and he made it work. And I don't know, it just made me want to try to solo and see if I could do even remotely like that. And now I'm finding myself still over here in Oasis instead of someplace that's going to challenge me. But I did try a little bit of Befallen, and it was camped kind of heavily last night. And I did a Who-All earlier when I first got on, and Befallen had like 20-something people in it, which is outrageous. I don't think I've ever seen 20-something people in Befallen. So that's not within my realm of possibility to do right now. And I don't really know any other solo spots at this level. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I should get to level 16 before I take on the next challenge, because I get Feign Death at that level. Feign Death and a few other spells. I get a new pet. Yeah, I think the game changes a little bit for me at 16. Let's do this Cayman right here. Alright, let's book it a little bit. Let's do Fear. Wow, that's right there on the limit. Let's get Leech up. And we'll also do Poison Bolt, because what I'm seeing right now is Leech is not strong enough to kill him on his own with Engulfing Darkness. Oh, great. And a Crypt Mummy. Alright, we're going to try it. I'm going to fear that Crypt Mummy like crazy. This could easily be a death right here, guys. He's yellow, too. My pet's almost dead. Great, he's coming after me. Fear. Work, please. Holy crap. Leech, and I'm going to be out of mana. Cayman, you better die on your own, because, like, you're killing me over here, man. Killing me, Smalls. Please give me enough mana for a Fear. Oh, crazy. No. Can I cast? Yes, I can. Go off. Please don't resist. Oh, my God. Can we do it? If we do this, my confidence level just went up, because, like, this would not have been a thing a couple of levels ago. I don't like how he's so close. If Fear breaks... Oh, no, and I'm losing Dark Pact. Oh, yeah, Fear broke. Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Stay away from me, you butt. Alright, Fearin', please take... Engulfing Darkness, I don't have enough for anything. Does he have any dots on? I don't think he has any dots on him. Well, I am going to start running it to the zone line. I might be able to met up once I get there, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to stay there and hope for the best. I'm gonna head to the zone line. Fear Spell has worn off, so he is on the way. Oh, and there's an orc. He might have seen me. If that orc's army, we'll definitely have to zone. Just give me, like, I don't know, like 4%. I can cast another Fear, but, like, I don't have any dots. He's only at 21%, though. Dang it. And we got the... Yeah, we're going to have to zone that. Crap. Okay, well... I was so close. My confidence level was like, yeah, I took on a blue and a yellow, and it wasn't even full mana when we started. Just not enough. A little bit more mana. Maybe one more Heat Blood on that guy, and we might have been able to do it. I still had my pet up, so that was nuts. I can't believe he survived as long as he did. This is much more interesting. Hot air balloon would be nice, even with Invis. It's scary to run through Draenlands from the portal to Fiona Vi. I think that's one of the things I like, though, is that it is scary to travel through that zone, and so it makes it a challenge. It makes it a journey. Like, you don't take that lightly. You don't be like, oh, should we go through this zone and this zone? A lot of the time when we're thinking about where to go, we also have to think about how's the best way to get there. Should we take the boat because we're so low level? It might be better to take the boat. Or do we teleport into the heart of the zone with the druid and hope that maybe Invis doesn't fade and that we don't get any ads in there and they don't one-shot us and, you know, all that kind of stuff that might go on. You know, you have to take all of that into consideration, and a lot of the new MMOs out there, you don't have to take any of that into consideration. Like, you don't even consider the zone itself being an entity, a thing to worry about. It's just a hassle for you to get through so you can get to your destination. Like, that's really the only thing you think about. How many places, how many zone lines. So many roamers see Invis. Yeah, that's, you know, another good thing about it. You watch the popular D&D streams on Twitch. They get like 30K views on Thursday nights. No, I haven't seen any of the streams. I don't watch too much Twitch. Just a few people here and there, and I never actually watched Twitch or YouTube before I actually started doing YouTube or Twitch, which just is weird, I guess, for most people. It was never a thing for me. I didn't even know it kind of really existed. But Yeah, I love playing D&D. So maybe we can get like a group of guys together. How do they do it though? Do they have like a special program that they're playing D&D on, or is it like all the guys are in one room and they're just filming it, and they dress up and they do the garb? Because I go to the Renaissance Festival every year, and I have like, I don't know, 7 or 8 outfits that I'll switch between, depending on the year that I go. This next year it's going to be going in October. I'm gonna be going as a knight. I finally got the full set of armor. Like it took me a few years. It's really expensive, but I finally got to that point, so I can finally do the full set. And it's a bunch of voice actors, and they're all in one room. Okay, so they're all in one room and they're doing the voice acting. That could be cool. Yeah, get into the whole roleplay aspect of it. I do have a voice changer that I like to play around with from time to time, like this one right here.
I can kind of make myself sound like a female a little bit. I mean, it's male to female. It doesn't work completely 100%. There's another one that I like.
Which is this one. Give me all your kids and the the demon voice. It's absolutely amazing. I love this one. I would love to find a role-playing game where I can kind of use this one as my voice. But yeah.
There's a few other ones in there that I like to play around with, like Alien Brute and all sorts of ones, but... Oh, I have candy. I could try that. Let me see.
You guys are going to say, I have candy. What about, I could do with like a deep voice. They even have a marine one on here. Like, like that's an actual thing. You got marine voice, so, if you want to play one of those first-person shooters, Call of Duty, Black Ops or something, that might be kind of cool.
This is one of my favorite ones, because I've lost my sandals, and I can't find my booties. Please, does anybody know where my booties are?
But yeah, there's crazy ones out there, and I want to get a better one. That one only has like 12, but there's some out there that have like hundreds of voices. So maybe I'll do something with that. I did do a little tiny video. It's more of like a high school project is what it ended up looking like. But what it is it's a game that's called My Little Blacksmith Shop. And I thought it kind of lended itself somewhat well to creating maybe like little small episodes with storylines. So I created a backstory of the game. And, like in the game itself, you have a little shop, you create weapons, then you sell it to the people who come in every day, almost as if you guys ever played any of those games where you get like orders for food, like pies and cakes and things of that sort, but this one's with armor. So you have adventurers coming in, they buy stuff, and then they go off and they adventure in the dungeons, I guess, which is out there that you can't really see. So on that one, I filmed it, and then I went back and I added some of those voices to the guys that are coming in. I created like conversations between each other, and I did like a cut and paste and overlap, and I just tried my hand at editing a little bit because I've never really done too much editing for the intro. And like I said, it came out more of like a high school project than anything else, but it was fun. It was interesting to try, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more of that when I get better at it. But yeah, a little cheesy. So I'm making my way over to the commons. I need bone chips, and I'm at 1 bone chip. But I do have stuff to sell, so let's go to the gypsy camp. Hopefully I do not get any ads in the gypsy camp. Sometimes there is a desert madman kind of roaming over there, and of course the giants do roam in that spot as well. I get one-shotted if I did that. And this rabies, man, almost makes me not want to take on creatures that have rabies, because it's deadly. Like that is really putting a crimp in my life coming back up. And now that my life is my mana, I'm not happy with that. You have a person here called OK. Let's go ahead and wave. Oh, that's very nice of you. Sure, let me give you some money. That's Give you a little bit of cash. Thank you very much. Well, that saves us from having to at least go make a trip. But let's go ahead and sell real quick while we're here. Ooh, there's an even orc over here. Let's get a pet up. Just in case. Oh, and I got cured. Or maybe it went away on its own. I think I got cured, actually. Freaking puma? Are you kidding me? Give me a blue pet. Ah, he's green. I have crappy luck with pets. I don't actually think we need fear on this guy. I think my pet's going to be able to rein this guy in rather... Oh, what do I hear? What do I hear? Oh my god, giant. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Jeezy P, dude. Let's see. There's actually this... Oh, hold on. I'll read that in a second. I don't want to die out here. Let me sell as fast as possible. Oh, come on, guys. Probably should have hang on to all those words. I'm gonna need them. Ooh, 1 plat for that. Why do I hear him? Alright, I'm out of here. I can hear a giant, I just can't see him. I don't like that. Oh, okay, there he was. God, man. It's too close to call. Never been this nervous on a character before. Necromancer, man. He's kind of a... Okay, let's see... Garbage. I did get a key from Unrest, so, you know, I'll at least be able to go back to the 2nd floor whenever I want to. Splitting Club. Middle bits. I think this guy was a blacksmith at one point. Okay, so that should be good. You're blue. I don't want to fight out here. We're going to take you back. Okay, so let's close this stuff down. And let's see what Magic Gnome said. There's actually this cool program on Twitch that will put on animated figures on your screen that people use as a substitute to a webcam that will look like it's talking when you talk and stuff. I've heard of those. Somebody said they had like a burger that had like lips, and like when you talk, the burger moved. I wouldn't even mind using a webcam. Like I don't mind getting to like the whole garb and doing the role play and have like I got tons of weapons and stuff that I could do that we get from the Ridfest. So I mean that would be cool to kind of get into that whole aspect. I see people do that for like the VR. They get into like the whole like combat boots and, you know, military fatigues, you know, camo paint on their face, and then they put the headset on and they do like a little skit, you know, they go through the game. And I think that would be kind of fun to play around with like that. Okay, so I think things are good here. Let's go ahead and get a Cayman. Come on, fear it. Let's get Poison Bolt up. And we do got to get our health draining down a little bit here because we're pretty low on magic. There we go. You could use that with the voice modulator and it would be pretty sweet. Yeah, that could be kind of fun. And there's like an animated cat and a shark and some other cool ones. By the way, I'm Mr. Smiles. I just got tapping back and forth. That's alright, man. You can hit me up here. I don't mind. It may be a minute before I read the tells because I'm looking back and forth at the two screens. So I'm trying to keep up with both of them. Okay, so you're good. You don't get that kind of interaction with modern MMOs. Ghoul coming is scary when just about everything can kill you. Yeah, yeah. Everything in here is my enemy right now. But you know, one of the cool things about... Oh, I think he's just running. He's not actually chasing me. One of the cool things I've heard about Pantheon is they're trying to return to that more classic Everquest style feel. And instead of calling it like Everquest, I think they should just call it what it is. It's D&D. I mean, that's where Everquest got its kind of start. The people who were playing Everquest or even MUDs before this, and there was another game, I can't even think of that. I missed that one altogether, but that was a big MMO game that had graphics of, you know, some sort on there. And most of you guys probably already know it. What was the name of that one? It started with an A, maybe? I don't know. I'll think of it in a minute. But yeah, it's D&D. Like, D&D was the really heart and soul of this genre. And I know even World of Warcraft, when that first came out, they took a lot of inspiration from EverQuest, which, you know, again, took a lot of inspiration from D&D. Ultima Online, there you go. Yeah, that would have been fun. That would have been fun to get into that one. I heard that had all sorts of craziness. You had pretty much everything you had on EverQuest, all those horror stories about people, you know, camping other people's mobs or PvPing each other and doing all that nastiness. That was on that game. But you also had all those really cool stories about people making friendships and meeting each other, even getting married or divorced. That had all of it in there. So, in my opinion, that was one of the real hardcore MMOs. MudQuest, yeah, I did play that one actually. I played UO at Lodge. Oh, okay, so how was that for you, man? Oh, he's coming for me. Should have got that off a little earlier, but I was looking at the chat. Yeah, what was your experience like on Ultima Online? Did you find it really good at the beginning and then devolved into something later on? Because I've seen with game companies, when they stop... Wow, he's coming at me at 18%, huh? And now he's going to leave. You're a little butt. Yeah, I've seen with game companies, when they stop keeping up with them, stop maintaining them, stop coming out with content, they seem to devolve into like a cesspool of people either hacking them or just going around griefing people for the sake of griefing people. Some people get a lot of enjoyment out of that. If they know that you take it serious and you put a lot of time and effort into something, they get a lot of enjoyment about knocking it down. So that's where it all ends up going at some point. I was a bit too young for Ultima Online. I was 11 when it first came out. Okay. 11 when you played EQ. I was kind of young, but thankfully I had an older brother who is super into computers. What was the name of the first computer that he had? He used to talk about it all the time. The Commodore? Yeah, the Commodore 64. He used to get these booklets, these little... Yeah, they're booklets. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's not like a... It's not just a few sheets. They were page after page after page after page that it would have in there of coding. You know, the ones and zeros. And if you copied it completely, 100% right, you could have a little program after end of it. And I remember he got that, and he sat there all day long one day entering that in there. And at the very end of it, he hit the button to start it up, and it was Hangman. You could play Hangman on the computer. It was mind-blowing, crazy that was like, oh my god, we got a game on here. Of course, you couldn't do anything else. Like, if you exited out of the program, you'd have to re-enter the entire thing from start to finish again. And you couldn't save it. So many flaws with it, but it was so cool to see that was the future of computers. And yeah, I mean, that was really my first experience with computers. We didn't have them in school. And, you know, him bringing his computer over when he visited and being able to try out some of the text-based games that he had Companions of Xanth, Zork eventually came out, and you got to kind of play off picture games. Yeah, early games, man. They really put the effort into them. I see you did the same thing with copying the games, yeah. Oh my god, I have my phone on. Jeez. What is wrong with me? That's a rookie mistake. I usually turn that off. I do apologize, guys. I'm not muting my phone. And that was, let's see. Oh, there's something, a key. I get it. Alright. I appreciate it. Let's see, is there anything for me to kill? I need some life. There is another one of these crypt mummies out here. I'm kind of vaguely thinking about maybe taking him on. He is a nuisance, and if I don't take him on now, it's going to pose some issues, but my pet's green. So that's my drawback right now. My pet sucks. Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. Come on, fear, fear, fear. Oh, yeah. Let's get everything on this sucker. And I usually have to at least put 3 or 4 fears on these guys, and at least one more engulfing darkness. So he's mana intensive. So let's get as far away as possible, so when he does break like that, I got a little bit of leeway. There he goes. He's going to the other. No, no, don't come back this way. I want to sit down and med, dude. Alright, I think he's far enough away. Yep, and he's broken already. And now he's coming this way again. Ah. Need to find a good spot. This is not it. Life Leech is on him. Nothing else is on this guy, it looks like. So let me go ahead and put Engulfing Darkness on him again. And we'll go with Poison Bolt, because I think he's almost done for. Actually resisted Poison Bolt. He's so close to not. If Poison Bolt didn't get resisted, I think that would have put him over the edge. Resist. Oh, man. I'm hating your guts right now. Alright, Heat Blood. Overkill, but whatever. Yeah, you keep running at me. Oh, what? I was hoping he'd get a little closer before he died. I wanted him to be like an inch away. Dry Bones? Yeah, Dry Bones. We're gonna back off and give you a wide berth. It's good experience off of those yellows. Let's see, Dark Pack, yeah, still up. Just making sure that wasn't the Life Leech. I vaguely remember launch was laggy. It was fun for what it was. I remember getting killed a lot from other players. I think I owned a house in Ultima Online one time. Lag is a lot of problems they have nowadays with the new servers, which is weird. Because Sony gets a lot of flack for a lot of the things they did wrong, and I can go on and on and on about the things that they did wrong. I don't remember their servers ever really being a thing. Their patches, horrid. Like, I hate it every day, every time it was a patch day, which they didn't have too often. It was like maybe once every 2 weeks they had a patch day. Later on, it was like every day they had a patch day, but at the beginning, I think they realized dial-up being what it was, a patch day was a patch day. It may have only been down for an hour. Most people took an entire day to download that patch and get back into the game. So they didn't do it too often, and they gave people plenty of notice. None of this, oh, by the way, guys, a little notice on the server is coming down for 2 or 3 hours. No. Like, on their website, big bold letters, patch day coming up in a month, be ready for it. We're going to remind you as much as possible. And then we never really had too much lag in the game, and you didn't have any of this stuff where you couldn't put players in because they're waiting in the queue to get into the game because there's not enough room on the server. Like, that was no bueno, unheard of, not going to happen. And now Daybreak Games does that on a regular. Like, that is just the way it works. They only had an X patch when an X pack was coming out. That was true, or later on when they found like a hotfix. Something was dropping that wasn't supposed to be dropping off of a mob that it wasn't supposed to be dropping off of, or something crazy like that. They went in there and they fixed that immediately. Or at least made a very, very small patch that would just take the item out of the game. Like, that was their fix until they could go back and work around the actual right fix in the next big patch. But yeah, they did a few of those, not too often, thankfully. Anyone ever play Prince Quest? I never played Prince Quest, but I did play King's Quest. King's Quest was by far an amazing game. Nope, not that. Try something else. You hear that a lot in those games. But I liked him all the way up until, I think, King's Quest 7 or 8. And then they changed the style. You'll see that, too, in a lot of, like, RTSs. Command & Conquer was one of them. It's an RTS, real-time strategy. Build up a base, take your forces in, destroy the other guy's base. Then it switched over to a first-person shooter for one of their games. And then they started making it more of not too much RTS, but more of you have a base. Here's a campaign mission. You're going to get attacked by blah, blah, blah in 3 minutes. You only have so much money on the map. Restricting you in a lot of ways rather than open world kind of RTS. Just changed it. And it's like, why? It seemed like that was a model that worked for you. Lots of people really loved it. And you're really kind of changing that on them. Some of them did well, some of them didn't. But they did that with King's Quest as well. And I didn't really like the later ones. It wasn't as fun. Wasn't as enjoyable. The board game. Oh, I haven't played Heroes Quest. No, I never played Heroes Quest. I had a friend that played a Necro, took him to his first dungeon in Lower Guck, and the first thing he does is try to fear the mobs. I can imagine, without fearing the mobs, I don't think I could take on most of these guys. So it's definitely a strategy. I know we had Alar in our groups at the very beginning. He's a rogue. You guys will probably recognize from our groups. Bushido Bull, and he used to all the time intimidate the mobs, fear them, because that's how he would solo. And in a dungeon, yeah, it's certain death. You're just not gonna come out of that alive. Didn't take him long to, yeah, I imagine. They had a scheduled maintenance window of at least 6 hours once per week. It was Tuesday, 9 p.m. Australian time. I'm not paying attention. Come on, I don't think that's going to land in time. And it does! For the win. Yeah, for like 3 seconds. For the win, anyways. I can't believe these blues give me this much trouble. No! And it went off anyways. That's wasted mana. Alright, so Engulfing Darkness is worn off, and Poison Bolt has worn off, so he is on his own. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that on his own, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, he's doing it. He's getting it down. It's going to take him a while. It was Tuesday, 9 p.m. in Austria and East, so... Oh, yeah, so you just had the worst time zone for them to do it, and I guess they have to pick one. Like, what's 2 a.m. for us is probably prime time for somebody else. So they're going to be pissing somebody off. I wouldn't mind it if they rotated it. I really wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's going to... At the time, I wouldn't have liked it. If I had a day where I actually got to play Everquest and I wasn't able to play because they're doing it during my prime time. But it's only fair to kind of switch it around. But they normally just do it based off of where their servers are located, I guess, because, their employees are there and they don't want to do it at 2 in the morning for their employees. Which, it makes sense, but... You gotta keep the money happy. Your customers are the money. Tick them off. You won't have a franchise. Oh man. Let's get Leech on this guy, and we'll do Poison Bolt as well. Stick it to the Aussies. We deserve it. I got family in Australia, so you know, like I don't want to stick it to those guys either. I'm just gonna run you in circles, dude. I think he got it. I think he got it. But then, I mean, if you play any JRPGs, you'll have prime time over here being the time that they do those patches. I did see one that I played a while back. I can't remember what the name of it was. They had the ability that you could log into the game, play the game, while the patch was going on. I don't know exactly what that takes to make that happen, if that's more of like epic servers or really good download speed or, you know, coding being done a certain way to allow that to be a thing. I don't know why more of them don't do it, because that's like, that doesn't interfere with anybody, and as long as you have a decent internet connection, you're golden. And most people nowadays, well, I guess I shouldn't say most people, I know plenty of people who do not have good internet speed, but like it's more of a thing now than it ever has been, I guess is the way I should put it. Nobody's doing modem connections on a regular basis. There's somebody out there who has one, I guarantee it, but they're not doing it on a regular basis, I don't think. All right, she's taking that head on. Look at that. Wizard style. Let's see how she handles. She's taking a little bit of damage. She mezzing it? We'll help her out here in a second. Oh no, I think she took it as a pet. Yeah, I think she has it as... No, maybe not. Maybe she's trying to, and it's just not staying. Well, that kind of sucks. That was a good mob to take on every so often. But there's plenty of blues, so not going to be too bad. But yeah, I would love to see him have it in the background. Just downloads in the background that don't affect the game as I play. I think World of Warcraft had that as an option. You had to do like 80% of the patch, and then at last 20%, you could log into the game. I'm looking at the experience gain. It's so slow to grouping. Is this normal? Or is, like, shouldn't I be getting better experience? Am I just in the wrong spot? Maybe I should head to... Let's see, who will befallen? Ah, thank you. Somebody gave me regeneration, so I'll take that. It's really, really nice. Do you or any of your friends know how to keybind page turn left and page turn right in your spellbook? They are default bound to left arrow and right arrow keys, but I don't see it anywhere in the keybind options. Maybe one of the viewers knows. If any of you guys know how to do that, I know Nibris mentioned that on, I believe it's Super Bits and Bob's stream. He was telling him how to streamline switching from page to page so that you didn't have to come in here and go to that or that or that. You can hit a certain key and it would go straight to page 4 or straight to page 12. So you can, you know, switch between single spells or group spells or, you know, like whatever you want it to do. Because I know enchanters have tons of options at later levels on, you know, exactly for any given situation what works and what doesn't. I didn't hear all of it when he was talking to him about it. There's a lot of information. A lot of information the guy was posing. I think it was this guy that's casting it. Let's see if we can use some of this to our advantage. Ah, yeah, we got a Cayman. And a giant out there. Yeah, if you watch the video, he talks about it. It's in this. It's in his stream, so that you can see, you know, exactly what Nybers is saying and what Super Bits and Bob is doing while he's trying to get it all done. Yeah, I don't know how to turn it left and right other than the arrow keys. Oh my god. Spirit of Wolf. I think I might have to invest in J-Boots for this guy. Another one of my tunes. As a pet class, you have to do at least 51% of the damage or else your pet will eat half the experience. Yeah, that's why I've been doing the dots, and I think it's working out fairly well that I am doing most of the damage. It's hard to tell sometimes. Like with a green pet, it's almost guaranteed that I'm doing half the damage, but with some of the other pets, they hit pretty hard, so sometimes I do have to waste a little bit more magic. My highest level main on p99 is 59. He's a cleric right now. Not really trying to push him too hard to get to 60. Like, I know he's going to get there eventually, but I'm kind of having fun just checking out new zones and leveling up the old-fashioned slow way. But clerics are different from any other class. They don't require switching spells very often. Every spell on my hotbar is a spell that I can get away with using, and I don't really need to switch back and forth unless it comes down to buffs. And yeah, those are far and few in between that when I actually have to use them since they last so long nowadays. That's only applicable when soloing. Good luck out there, AC. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate if you're watching. Lil Num. Lil Num, if you're watching, thank you so much for the buffs. Let's see at what level he starts to run. 8%, 1%. Wow, 1%, he was still coming after me. That's not cool. What is that? There's a red dry bone skeleton out there. I think I'll skip that guy for now. Let's met up a little bit. Oh, okay, so rum packs. You're the guy buffing me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Cayman. No, he's gonna go over the edge. Yeah, can't see him. Yeah, I heard that you can get about 7 to 10k in plat from killing the Misty Guards. So, seeing how well Spirit of Wolf works, just, you know, how nice that is on this dude, I think I need to find a cash camp and buy J-boots. Or go camp them. I think there's a place in Ocean of Tears that I can do it in. I might be able to get lucky and find it open. I know it's almost perma-camp, but... Fear seems to be lasting less. This is something I posed on one of my videos, and maybe you guys out there who have played Necromancers will be able to put this to rest once and for all. I've heard both ways. I've heard people who have said that negative charisma on a Necromancer helps with fear and lulls, and I've heard people out there who say it has no bearing whatsoever for Necromancers. I don't know. I like, my Necromancer is level 14. I've noticed a lot of Necromancer gear has negative charisma on it. Is that just coincidence? It could be. If you look at like Plains gear from Plane of Fear, Plane of Hate, a lot of the gear that they give off those classes has stats that does nothing for their class. So Everquest, in their infinite wisdom, did put items in that don't do anything for them. But I would assume with the amount of items that Necromancers get that have negative charisma, it must do something. He's green. What about you, blue? Alright, we'll take you on. I don't think charisma has any bearing. Oh, Desert Madman, huh? Okay, we'll take 2 on. What level is he? He's green, so he should die fairly easy. Let's get a heat blood on this guy. It's a little bit of a waste, but considering we've got 2 mobs. Oh, and I have no mana. Well, then I hope my regen and these spike shields hold up. We're gonna see if this will tear them down. I think thanks to our druid over here, I might actually survive this one. Otherwise, that Desert Madman would have gotten in the way. Yeah, he's at 10%. He doesn't want to attack anymore, but he doesn't want to run either. In my experience, at least, bop him on the head with the 1 damage. I don't think I can attack with melee with the bow. I don't think it has an actual damage, does it? It does. Okay, so I can attack with it. I was worried it was going to be like the snow cone that I have on my cleric, which is great item for stats, but absolutely abysmal if you want to take on a green. But yeah, even with this one, everybody says this is a perfect item for a Necromancer because it gives health, intelligence, and mana, but it also has the -5 charisma, so just it's weird. Like, that's a thing for Necromancer items. And if any of you have suggestions on items that I should get in the future, I believe there's a sickle that I see a lot of Necromancers running around with. Let's get this back up. We're gonna have to get the med. Sit down, my friend. Okay, so yeah, we got some mobs over here tempting us, but I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna wait. Almost out of 14 already. Maybe be able to get 16 tonight and get my new spells. Make the journey over to the Dark Elf City. Yeah, see how much those are gonna cost me. I think I'm gonna have to load onto my main guy. Solandikar's Heart. Solandikar's Heart. Why does that sound familiar? That's not the heart that drops in one of the soul dungeons, right? The little necklace item that gives you intel and a couple other stats. I mean, it's a nice item, but it's not, you know, it's not amazing. Let me look that one up, actually. There you go. Hearts. Effect regeneration when worn. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a little bit of money, right? What's the going price on it? 200,000 plat. Yeah, like I was looking for something more along the line of a couple hundred platinum here and there. 200,000 plat. Good lord, man. It's nice, and it definitely is sellable. You know, one strength, 2 dex, 2 stamina, or 1 stamina, negative charisma, 10. See, so there's a charisma on there. 2 wisdom, 20 intelligence, 3 agility, 5 to all resist, and regeneration, which I think is the main stat that you're looking for right there. Yeah, vision. I would definitely agree with you right there. That's a Nibris tier item all the way. I don't think I've ever earned 200 plat in all my time. Thank you so much, Azar. I appreciate it, man. Getting resolution and symbols. Oh, you even give me symbols. Wow, you guys are too kind. I think I got enough mana here. Let's see if we can take on a blue. Ah, we got another one of those yellows. Crypt mummy. So she must have lost her crypt mummy. Maybe broke on her and she ended up having to kill it. Might try killing that in a minute. He has one on. I have one, but I have to sell this shield I have first. Yeah, I've seen him use his robe. I forgot what it's called, but it sucks his life away, and I guess that's his way of kind of getting it back, is by having that item on him. Such an awesome item because it has the appearance of a scimitar, so unique. That's kind of cool. Pizza box item, the Green Jade Broadsword, is one of those items that me and Thum and the rest of the gang kind of talk about from time to time because it has a weird shadow effect. It looks like the little stick that you get the pizzas out of the oven with. Like a default almost that they never went back to change. It's kind of funny. I don't know. You see collectors out there really grab onto items like that in the real world. The stamp that has, you know, an upside down head or something that messed up on that stamp and it's unique. It's the only one I like it. I like items like that in the game too that have a very, maybe not always unique, but just a different look than what you will normally associate with that item. Crystal items from Velius were something kind of cool that they threw in that you didn't really see a lot of in the old days. Kind of like a see-through-ish effect, and I liked how they kept pushing that boundary of what they could do with the game without becoming overbearing. You know, too much of that shinies that we talked about earlier. Mana robe drops from track. I used to have one, but they aren't that great, to be honest. They're a very niche item. Yeah, but it works for him. Like when he dies and he comes back and he has to regenerate all his magic, especially after a res. It seems like he regenerates his magic really, really quickly. And, of course, he gets, you know, Clarity 2 on him as soon as possible. And with that regeneration thrown on him as well, like, it doesn't take him long. He's ready to go within a few minutes. Let's go after this Cayman and hope that Crit Mummy doesn't come back anytime soon. Now, I have all these buff zombie, and like I said, I definitely appreciate them. They're probably saving my life many times over. But I'm still playing it as if I don't have them, simply because I want to get in the habit of what I need to do with this guy. I'm trying to drill it into me that I can't go after mobs that I shouldn't be going after. Either there's nobody in Befallen right now, or I'm just not, you know, who all Befallen doesn't work. No, don't do fear. Yeah, good for when you die, but not much else because you actually get more mana back from med ticks than you do from rogue clicks. Ooh, okay. Yeah, red dry bone skeleton. We're gonna stay away from that dude. I guess the difference on the med ticks versus the robe is, you know, you can use the robe again and again and again and again really, really quickly, where with med, you have to wait before you get that next tick. Yeah, with these buffs on, it almost makes you want to try that dry bone skeleton, but he could be easily 6 or 7 levels higher than me. Ooh, yellow. Ah, hey Venthyr, how you doing, man? Going after a yellow. Let's see how well this works. Oh yeah. Actually landed on him. Nope, for not too long anyways. No, dry bone skeleton. Oh crap. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Dry bone, can I fear you? Come on, fear. Okay, so I feared him. Let him run off in the water or something, I don't care. Let's get this guy dotted up. Ah, and he resisted, of course. Lead. Actually, I'm gonna let this guy beat on me, because right now... shouldn't be doing it this way. Right now I have spikes and regeneration, but... let him beat on me and die. Look at the dry bones to do the same thing. Although he's really high on life right now, so... let's do poison bolt. Let's turn on our melee attack. And, yeah, see if we can get some down. We're doing 1 damage. We're crushing them. Can't do leech. Which, you know, I guess I don't really need. The sand giant, I believe somebody killed him a minute ago. You guys are healing me up. Oh, man. Seems so unfair. Alright, so we got a little bit of power leveling going on right there. You guys really don't have to do that. Like I said, I do appreciate it, but... I know most of you guys probably want to go out and get some experience of your own. Alright, let's... Pat, I mean, you don't really need to, but you're going to sit down. You're going to take it easy for a little bit. Let's get our life being drained here. Whew, okay. That was a little bit more hectic than I want. It seems like anytime I see a mob that is ready to attack roaming around here on the beach, my luck is that he is eventually going to jump in when I least want him to. So I think if I do find a spot in the future where I'm killing mobs and somebody like that spawns, my first job is to kill that guy, whether I want to or not. Whether it takes me longer to met up and it's risky. I think that has to be a necessity that I go after, ready to attack mobs first. And that may be a given for most of you guys out there, something that you would obviously do first. But in a group, you don't normally have to make that distinction. Any mob that spawns, you kill instantly, whether he's ready to attack or not. It's all experience. It's all the same to you. So trying to work out the strategies at this level, especially at this level where everything is so much harder. Let's just wipe the floor with you. I haven't had this much trouble since I played my Ranger solo. That dude... I don't know what to say about Rangers by themselves. They're... My Cleric can tank better than my Ranger, which sounds like an insult, but I'm not trying to make it that way. I'm just, it's something that actually is a thing. My Cleric is a really good tank at that level. Ranger, he's more of a druid, is the way it feels like, even with the gear that he has. And he's some really, really good gear on him. Things that I've gotten all over the place, from Seb, from Howling Stones. It's crazy how much gear he has. And that a cleric with bronze armor can take hits better than he can. I guess that goes to show that he's not really a tank. But it seems like he can dish out a little bit more damage than my Shadow Knight can at his level. Hey, I am a druid. I mean, there's nothing wrong with druids. I like them. They're definitely not tanks, though. Maybe you might be with your level and all your gear. But most of the other ones out there, they don't like getting hit. I do know that Rangers are supposed to be pretty epic later on in the game. Like at higher levels when you start doing raiding and all that. It's just a long way to go before you get any payoff. The track, though, is hard to beat. Like that was the reason I made him, because we wanted to do more like newbie giveaways, and we wanted to do some events over in Trackanon's Teeth. And Nodal on his Bard is really one of the only people we have that has the ability to track. And I wanted to make a Ranger so that we could kind of, let him take a break and maybe play a different tune or something along those lines when we're doing that, because he always has to play his Bard, and it's kind of like, it's really not fair for him to have to pull all the weight all the time. And the Rangers start at 50 on their tracking, so you don't even have to work very hard to get there. Alright, I think we got a decent amount of mana here. Let's go after what came in here in a second. Oh, no, there he is. Right on cue. 67%. Alright, I think it might be enough. Let's give it a shot. Let's pull back. There you go. And I'm going to run way over here so I can see it break. Alright, so I think I got Oasis packed. I got the strategy over here, so I think after all these buffs start fading and I know that they're no longer on my pet anymore, I think we'll go try a different zone. I might try to find my way over to Lesser Fae and see if the sister camp is up. If that's open and nobody's camping it, then I'd like to give that a shot. I'd like to kill guards with this guy. He's evil. He needs to do a little bit of that. So if you guys have a zone in mind that you would like to see me go to, other than Lesser Fae, let me know. Give it a shot tonight. Jeez, it takes so much mana to kill these guys. Sand Giant is Castle. He is roaming around, but there was a regular Sand Giant somebody had killed not too long ago. I caught it over there in the distance. I'm just gonna let him beat on me. Let those dots go to full effect. Wow, 30 points of damage apiece. Whew. It's a good experience. But now I have to sit down and med for like 7 minutes, 8 minutes before I can take on another mob. And in that meantime, he spawns again. Like, that's a pretty fast spawn rate for this guy. So I feel like I'm taking on 1, maybe 2 mobs every 10 minutes. Which I guess is the life of a solo player, which might be why I never did it. Because I feel like I should be doing more. Let me look at my character. I need to figure out what I need to upgrade here. I got pretty decent ears. I got lucky with this character. When I first made him, he was one of my first characters that I made when I came back to the game. I took a little break due to family stuff that was going on, but when I came back, he was one of the first characters I remade on my new account. And I was coming outside of the Dark Elf City, and I was sitting there at the entrance actually miming my spells at level 1. And a Necro had just come down from the plains. I guess he had gotten new armor and new equipment and stuff while he was up there. And he ran up to me. He saw me as a new player. He gave me a whole bunch of stuff, including a robe, a couple earrings, some weapons. I mean, he was really, really nice. He gave me all this stuff. And, like, that is a common occurrence on this server for sure. But he really propelled my guy. Like, he gave me this, like a sapphire platinum necklace. Those aren't cheap. Those are pretty expensive. Those are better necklaces than I have on most of my other tunes, even to this day, because I'm, poor on most of my guys. I don't make a lot of money, and what I do make, I usually spend on getting like main gear on my cleric or even my warrior now, who seems to be like my second main. So he needs better sleeves. I don't know if there's better sleeves for an intel caster. Maybe net it from the hole or from SG, Siren's Grotto. Need better pants. There's not a lot of pants either for casters. And I guess golden Ifriti boots. I did actually have a second pair that I was going to give to my Necro, but Chupa out there did not have it on his shaman, and he was kind of going hardcore into a shaman at the time. So I ended up giving those pairs, or that pair of boots that I got, to him. I think he eventually sold it for better armor down the road, but it's a very, very nice upgrade. And a really fun cap, which I might be able to do solo if I can break it at some point. That would be cool. Golden Ifriti camp all by myself. Alright, let's get this guy. Yeah, I would not take on Kazel by yourself. I hear he is an epic mob. I have heard of a Necro Shaman duo taking him on, but I don't know if you can do it without that. Oh, the ones from the AC camp, yeah. Yeah, okay, I could go for those. Those are supposed to be the common drops, aren't they? Because I camped that for a long time on my cleric to try to get the pants, and I never got anything to drop, let alone the sleeves or the pants. And that's around level 30, right? I mean, Necros might be able to do it a little sooner. Those mobs are not ready to attack, so when they spawn, like, you have all day long. So he soloed Kazel on his Enchanter. He's for the Epic. Okay. So maybe not as hard as I've heard. I always give him a wide berth anyways. I don't want to go anywhere near him on my Cleric. Let's see. Wow. Mobs are getting wiped out over here. Let's go in search of a mob. It's not like we have full mana, but... Actually, I think most of the buffs have worn off. Yeah, so we don't have regen on anymore. So let me put Reclaim Energy on. And we will see if we can find a port over to... Let me do a... what's her Fae? Level 14 Necromancer and Lesser Fae, so that place is taken. Let me come over here and sell. Stay away from these lions for whatever reason. Even being green, they still attack. Maybe Befallen. We'll go check out Befallen then and see if that has too many people there or not. Save that weapon for my pet. Yeah, you're a butt. I knew you were gonna do that. Thank you, Van. I appreciate it, man. I'm actually almost out of water, so I need to buy some more. Alright, let's make our way over to the commons. We'll stop and see if maybe we can buy some bone chips while we're there. Actually, if we're going to be doing Befallen, maybe we shouldn't buy any, because we should get plenty of bone chips in the zone. Van, I mean, if you want... No, it's alright, man. I think we can run it. We got Spirit of Wolf. That's really fast, actually, and I kind of like to show off the journey. You know, I like to show off the zones. A lot of these places people don't go to anymore. In fact, there's a dervish camp right here on the other side of the zone line. That would be interesting. There's a lot of dervish guys there. I don't know if I could split the camp. But I think last time I ran by, they were blue and even. So that could be a thing. If we were able to do that. Let me see how many are in there. So yeah, they're still blue. I think they would wreck my face, to be honest. There's some casters in there too. Yeah, 4, 5 guys in there. 6 guys. That's not gonna happen. They're all blue though. That's a good spot. I think there's another Dervish Cutthroat camp in here that's not quite as tough. I think there's actually 2 or 3 of them. And there's supposed to be a name guy that spawns over here. I've only seen him once. I think he has a placeholder of a snake. Desert Madman. There's one there. Just a regular Madman. Alright. Yeah, I killed him once. I don't remember what he dropped. It wasn't anything great. But it was kind of curious to run across him in the middle of the desert. Really, that guy is actually blue to me. Dervish Cutthroat is blue? What? Oh, there's some players over here. They might get attacked there in a second. That guy's walking really close to him. Zombies green. Okay, so that's a little too low for me. I don't know, random mobs over here in this zone could be a possibility. At least I don't have to worry about giants or Castle. It's so dead quiet in this tunnel. And this is something I would like to see in a video game when they do the area effect, kind of environmental effect spells, like they have mentioned that they kind of want to do in Pantheon. I did watch a stream where they talked about exactly how that was going to be incorporated into the game, and it seemed more like a key to get from one zone to the next zone, rather than if you're in like a frozen tundra like permafrost, you're just taking that oh, now Spiritual Wolf wears off. Instead of taking like constant, ice damage, or having a bar like your stamina bar drain down because it's too hot in the desert. It would be cool if they did that, because then you would have zones like this where you have a tunnel, and if you go inside the tunnel, maybe it's cooler in there. And I've seen that in survival games a lot, so I know they can program it in there. It just takes a little bit more effort and the want to do it. I don't even know if they desire to have that kind of system enveloped into their game or not, but I think it'd be really, really cool to have a little bit more of the survival games pulled into it, especially with the MMO. I'm thinking of like Fallout. If you played Fallout 3, New Vegas, any of those, when you play it on, what was it called, like hardcore, or the more challenging version of that game rather than just normal, they had it in there where you had to cook food and you had to drink water. It doesn't sound like a big deal, and it really isn't. But at the very beginning of the game, when you have very little money and you're just kind of getting started, and a lot of the time you want to go off and explore, you have to take into account that, I got to have food and water, and am I going to have enough to go off and explore and get back before I run out, because I'll die otherwise. So that's just one more thing to make the world feel bigger, because like you have a limitation on how far out you can go, and the environment feels more alive, because if you go into the desert, you're going to drink more water, which means you're not going to last as long, and that's like more money out of your pocket. So yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like how realistic do they want to make it, and you can even make it over the top. Like, it doesn't have to be super realistic for it to be enjoyable, or you can make it less. Like, it doesn't. There's Zelda for the Wii and the Switch. That one has it where when you're attacking with weapons, they break, and you constantly have to get new weapons. I haven't played it myself, and my brother got it for his kids, and listening to them talk about it and tell me what they do and the favorite parts of the game, and just kind of go on and on and on about how great the game is. One of the things that they have mentioned was that the weapons break so often that during pretty much every fight, they actually have to stop mid-fight, put on another weapon. I think that's too much. I think that's stopping the action, the flow of the game, to a point that it's not probably going to be enjoyable for most people. There was a game I played on the computer way back when. Some of you might have actually tried it. It's called Return to Krondor. Amazing RPG game. Beautiful music based off of a book. That game had durability on the weapons, but it was done just right so that after the end of like maybe 2 battles, or a really big battle with like 3 or 4 people, then you would have to kind of maybe repair some of your equipment. And the better the equipment you got, the less often you had to repair it. But you still have to kind of do some maintenance on it, even when you got really good pieces. They could do something like that in a game, especially like Pantheon. I don't know if I really want the weapons to break and then be gone. I don't mind weapons that are broken and then you just can't use them until you repair them. Uh, it's kind of hardcore to make it. If you're not paying attention, you lose an item that may have taken you weeks or months to get, or even like your epic. If you're not paying attention on that and you just lose it, that would really, really suck. But yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more challenge, a little bit more maintenance. Not in the sense that it takes away from the game to the point that you're just doing busy work. A lot of them kind of do that, just throwing busy work for you. I wanted to have a fill, an actual point, and give you something that will help with it and something that will take away from it. To, I don't know, just give you another aspect of the game that feels more alive. And EverQuest kind of does that for you. Definitely adds things in, but they missed out on the environmental effects. I think it was just beyond their limitations at the time, or maybe they never considered it because EverQuest was already huge and large in the scope of what they were trying to do. First game for an MMO that you could move around in 3 dimensions and have an entire world at your fingertips. So maybe I'm asking way too much, but I think Pantheon in our day and age, with all the technology that's out there and all these aspects that I have already seen integrated into other games, definitely have the possibility to kind of integrate that into theirs. This is a long run with that Spirit Wolf. It's cool though to see that there's mountain right here, and this mountain you can't cross. Otherwise, crossing over from the Oasis all the way over here would be a lot faster. I wonder how you would do that, because I mean, if you want to make it where it's boundless and borderless, and you don't want to have like these hard zone walls, you'd have to create a mountain range that took you just as long to get over as it would be to go around, and you'd want it to be dangerous too. You want it to probably to cost you life as you went up and down because you're taking fall damage. So where you'd have to stop halfway through and med up and kind of get that thing going again. Or not med up, but heal up before you kept going into that direction. I think it could be done, but it had to take a lot of testing to make sure that the players look at it and be like, no, I'd rather go around. So we're going to give Be Fallen a chance. I have the key for the first floor, which will get us down to the second. I'm hoping that this level 35 mob that spawns here at the entrance is not up. That could be a game changer for us. If he is, there's not much I can do about that, so we'll just have to leave him there. But yeah, we'll head down, and hopefully nobody has taken that camp, and we'll give that a shot. I was killing the 2 down at the very bottom of the ramp last night until a maid showed up, and then there was like a red ghoul that was roaming the halls, and that was just, ugh. Oh my god, Icebone is up, isn't he? But he's even. Okay, well, we could do that. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Let's get up a pet. Hopefully he's not green, and we kill this thing. But we do have close to full mana, so we shouldn't have to med up for too long. Let's go ahead and put up our Dark Pact. That should help out a little bit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Blue. And I even have a weapon for you, my friend. Let's do this. One of the first blues of the night. Alright, let's... Fear? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know how far he'll go with Fear and what direction he'll go and if he'll get ads. There's a lot of greens on the first floor, so I'm not really too concerned. Oh, my God. Really? Okay, well, you suck. Come on, don't stun me. Wasn't quite ready. Yeah, I haven't gotten Engulfing Darkness on you yet. Now I do. Plague Rat. Looks like there is a rogue working on lockpicking. Get Leech up. And we'll go with Fear one more time. And then I'm going to go sit at the entrance while he's being feared. So he'll at least be leeched or whatever. The leash that he'll be on won't be as far. I think that's how it works. But we'll find out. Our pet's still at full life, so he's taking on the extra ads. Here comes a wimpy skeleton. Here Comes our pet. Yeah. Sick on that one. What do we got? 18, 14% on the Icebone. 8%. Heat Blood has worn off. Fear Spell has worn off, so he's coming back. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, you're such a beautiful pet. Why didn't I have you earlier, Zerker? Yeah, you are. Okay. Love my pet. Let's pick up all this garbage. No bone chips. Alright, so we're going to check out the first floor. We're going to, kind of regenerate a little bit of our mana. And we're going to get some bone chips while we're here. Skellies need love too. Yeah, they do. Especially when they do a good job. Such a good boy. I mean, look at the damage he's not taking. Compared to the greens that I kept getting over in Oasis again and again and again. This guy is... He's beastly compared to them. He's doing this all on his own. Now, granted, everything he's killing is green, but still... I mean, these guys are casting spells on him, and... Could definitely be going a different direction. Well, I could have swore somebody ran by me a second ago. I don't see anybody, but maybe they're invis. Huh. This guy's actually doing some damage, huh? Now, somebody I was killing a couple times last night is this guy, Skeleton Lord. I realize he's for a quest or something like that, but he was even to me the last time I was here. Now he's dark blue. So I think we'll take him on again. It's a pretty decent experience at the very least. And, yeah, bone chips maybe. And we're pretty close to leveling. So if we get to level 15, we'll probably have to go down deeper. There's not going to be any experience to be had on this first floor. How many people are in this zone? So only 2 people other than myself here. That means, the rogue doing the door and Vant there, they're kind of coming out and helping us out, keeping an eye on us in case we get in over our heads. I definitely very much appreciate it. So let's go ahead and kill this dude. I don't think we're going to fear him, although we could. The dungeons and fear don't tend to work out too well. So we'll just dot him up really good and sit here and take the damage. Looks like Utah over there had a very, very bad day. There's a skeleton in here. So, somebody did kill the skeleton over here. Not too long ago, either. Alright, killed that putrid. Plague rat and putrid skeleton. Alright, so the placeholder for the key is not up. We don't need it, but I think I'll kill the guys into the placeholder spawns, and that way if anybody ever comes down here and needs that key, they don't have to wait for it. So we'll just, do them a little bit of a favor there. You come over here and attack this thing already. I'll bring it to you. How do you get him to switch targets? Like, once he's on a target, he doesn't want to switch. How about now? Do I got him on the right target? I think I do. Yep, there we go. Let's come over here and sit down on the bench. Watch this show. Keep an eye on my pet's life so he doesn't die. He's a good boy. I want to keep him alive. So that was a very short fight. Kind of feeling like once I get up in like the 50s, how uber I will be. I'll just be able to send my pet in to take on mobs that I would normally have to spend all my mana on to kill. Do it, man. Now, I believe mages are kind of a character that I might hit up from time to time when I'm playing my necromancer. I know I'm going to get to a certain spot and stay there for a while. I hear they have like harnesses or something they can give to pets, and they also have some pretty decent weapons. But I don't know if that applies to necromancers. I don't know if that's a really good thing to kind of seek out from time to time for those really tough camps where I know I'm going to be there, or if I should just stick with the fist and maybe some like fine steel weapons or something I get off of mobs from the ones that I'm killing. Oh yeah, bone chips. Alright, come on, pet. I'll go check one more floor. Ooh, there's some skeletons in there. Alright, take the skeleton on. There we go. You got it, right? Yeah, you do. It's funny to see him doing that, because I do have a rogue myself. I played that guy last night when I was doing some of the streams. I'm gonna have to do that. I haven't done lockpicking at all with my rogue, and I believe you can go up pretty high on the lockpicking skill, and then you have to go to another dungeon. I forgot what the name of the other dungeon is. Ooh, Pat, you're taking a little bit of damage here, man. I'll give you bin bones. You didn't even need min bones. Take a look around the corner. Okay, so there's a rat over there. Let's sit you down for a second. Still, everything here is green. Your channel is a refreshing watch from the vegan hipster streaming Agnar. Well, I hope you enjoy it, man. Yeah, it's definitely a new kind of way of playing for me, is to play Necromancer. The solo thing, oh man, it's night and day difference from grouping, but I'm loving it. Like, it's just kind of growing on me the more I do it. I do miss being able to like play with my friends though. Like, I still like that a lot, but man, just the challenge of going to a new place with a pet and seeing what you can get into and what you're not able to do. Once this guy really opens up as a class and I start getting that feigned death and all sorts of crazy spells like the mez and, you know, the things that he gets access to at a higher level, I think he'll really start to shine. And I'm gonna try as much complicated stuff as I possibly can do. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be great at playing a Necro, but I'm looking forward to challenging myself at the very least. Right now, I'm just in search of bone chips. Is there a bench in here I can sit down and watch the show? Nah, not really a bench, but I'll sit over here on a rock. Should have got me some popcorn. Oh, come on, pet. You're slacking here. You can't let the rat hit me. Oh, nice. This is exactly what I meant to do. Get rid of my clinging darkness. Engulfing darkness, actually. Yeah, that's what I've been told. Necros can go as far as you want to push it. A lot of skill based on it, and if you're not good with it, then you know you're not going to be able to go very far. And I can't say that I will, but I definitely want to risk it. I definitely want to give it a shot. Yeah, Pet, you're going to take some damage in here. So let's hope. Yeah, let's go with some heat blood or poison bolts on some of these. Get them on me for a little bit. Do the same on this guy. Go ahead and heal you up a little bit. Actually, I think he interrupted my spell. Wow, my pet might actually die here. Let's do a little bit more help. Should have lulled some of these. I was being a little careless. Go with some min bones. Okay, I think we got things under control. Used a little bit more magic than I would have preferred. some decent loot out of that, though. Bone chips. What are these guys at? About 40%. So Poison Bolt does about 40% on these greens. That's not fantastic. I'm not really sure I like Poison Bolt. There you go. I guess you're all dead. Alright, so here is where it's going to get fun. Let's come down here. We'll med up, we'll heal up, and we'll get ready for this fight. So we got the Dreadbones green, but he should be blue or very close to it. We're going to go ahead and take it nice and slow anyways. I'm going to get rid of Fear because I'm not going to use Fear down here. So I am going to use... what was it called? Something dead. What is my lull spell? Numb the Dead? I think that's what it was. I think that's the spell. So I'm going to try to numb the dead on the Dreadbones, and then I'll pull the Necro and his pet and try that. I don't think you can pull those separate. I don't think you can lull the dead on his Necro pet and then pull the Master without getting the pet. How twinked is your Necro? He's hit and miss. He has some pretty decent stuff on him. Like I've mentioned before, he has a Froglic Bonecaster robe, and he has the Sorcerer's Bowl. Those are like my best items on there. But then he still has, cloth wristbands on both sides. He has cloth sandals and cloth pants. He does have some pretty nice earrings, things of that sort. Cloth or Damascus sleeves. A few things like the Kunzar cloak and a sapphire platinum necklace. It really is just hit and miss on this guy. I would say he's still twinked, but not uberly so. Because I've heard with necromancers, not really necessary. Like, it's not 100% needed that you have awesome gear. Okay, here we go. Numb the Dead did not work, so we're gonna get everything. Of course we are. Why not? Let's do it. Let's get these guys burned down. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Heat Blood. And I'll switch over to the Necro Initiate, and we're going to go with some Leech. Get my life back up. Go with the pet. Get you with Blood as well. Although that's way overboard, I think, on the Necro pet. Initiative. You're not taking very much damage. Dreadbones. Let's go ahead and finish you off, Dreadbones. We'll get some life out of you. Pet is almost dead. And the initiative... Yeah, you're gonna die here in a second. Let's see if my pet can get it off of me. There we go. Okay, so it did not work as well. Law got resisted. I hadn't had a critical fail with that one. I don't know if the negative charisma is a thing. Some people have said it is. Some people have said it's not. I don't know if there's any other way to improve your Law of the Deads other than just absolute random luck. Did I get experience off of those? I can't tell because I have my experience bar over here. Did not even look. I think I probably did. We'll see it off of this guy. If not, we'll go one floor down. I didn't think I was able to go to the third floor just yet, but that might actually be a thing. But I want to med up because I know there's a ghoul that roams this corridor right here. I was getting ready to pull the room here on the right. There's 3 mobs in there, and I was getting ready to law it. And as I was literally about to cast the spell, a ghoul walked up and started attacking me from behind, and he was red, so I just booked it out of there. Definitely a possibility here to die. And I believe, yep, I'm still bound in Oasis because I did not bind over here. Agnar will be dead in a year. From the way it made it sound like to me, a lot of people who have been playing on Agnar, they classify the server as a way... The servers are going down in 14... Oh, no, is it really? Alright, well, we will keep playing until they go down. I think we'll kill this mob here in a second. Or in a couple minutes, because we got 14 minutes. So we'll kill this mob here. We'll go back up to the top floor, and we'll kill some random skeletons and stuff until the server comes down. If it comes back up within a reasonable amount of time, within like in the next hour, 2 hours, I will probably start up the stream again. But we'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to make you guys that promise and not actually be able to do it. But yeah, the way I've heard Agnar kind of working out is there's players on there who like that challenge of seeing how far they can progress from day one with all the other players. So they play any new server that comes out, any progression server, any new time lock server, whatever. They get to the point where, they get into the end of the game, the goal of like max level, and they got the best gear or close to it, and then the next one comes out and they do it all over again. So they get a lot of enjoyment doing that. In that regard, I don't really see any server dying. I see it as it's a platform for enjoyment to the next platform, to the next platform. I don't usually play games like that, but if that's how they tend to play it and that's how they want to play it, I have absolutely no problem with it. And yeah, it sounds like they're getting a lot of enjoyment from it, so by far the more the better. Okay, so I'm going to use a poison bolt on this guy. It's kind of a lower level spell, only does 5 per tick rather than the engulfing darkness that does a little bit more. I'm hoping my pet can get it off me. There we go. Now I will go ahead and use leech, because I know that doesn't do jack. I actually kind of hate casting it. I'm hoping one day it will do something. I want to get in the habit of using it. Dry Bones is almost dead. Wow, that was too easy. So I'm watching the bar down there to see if it changes. I didn't catch it. Yeah, and the chrono thing too is definitely a thing on the new servers. If you play on the new server, selling a gem right now, from what I've heard, is a chrono, and that's crazy because gems are super easy to get in most of the other games. Server shut down. Please find a safe spot. All right, let's head on back up to the top floor. So it's a good way for people who want to play for free, even if they have a main server, to kind of come on those progression servers and play around. So I think maybe in an essence they're supposed to, or they're meant not to last. There's a ghoul, really. Holy crap, he's red. Back it up, dude. Back it up. Oh my god, where's he coming from? Where's he going? He's gonna attack us, yep. Alright, so much for killing greens on this floor. Well, my pet's really not taking too much damage from it. Well, he's taking enough. Let's heal up my pet. Yeah, that's it. We got him down to 66%. If I had known that that was doable, I could have feared him up here. I could still... Come on, get fear up. I'll try it. I'll try to get fear on this guy. I got the mana for it. He comes back. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. He does have engulfing darkness on him. There you go. It's a good little friend. Come on, life leech. What is on him? Poison bolt has worn off, so we'll put that sucker back on him. Heat blood has worn off, so we'll put that on him. He's gonna take all my mana. Alright, we're gonna take some life. Life draw. I don't have enough mana for life draw. How about fear? I have enough mana for fear? I do. Still at 5%, and he's still beating me in the face. Go die. Go die in a corner. You little son of a gun, man. But I killed him. Still didn't get my level, but I did kill him. So let's come back over here. We'll met up, and we'll watch the server go down together, guys. Let's sit down. Don't forget about Chrono. Daybreak might as well sponsor Red Guilds instead of pretending they give... I play Bard on Final Fantasy. New skills are great. Let's see. Bards look sick in SB. I'm going to try anyway. P99 patch. Yeah, it must be a patch. They would normally not bring down the server any other way. Yeah, but Chrono is legit RMT. It is RMT. I mean, it is. There's no way ifs, ands, or buts around that. It's real money being transferred for playing a game. I'm okay with that because it gives the hardcore players a chance to make a little bit of money so that they can keep playing the game without having to spend it. They're just using their time. But I've seen also the effect of that. I've also seen how it will take a game that is enjoyable and friendly and make it not so much because those camps, the camps that have the most, hardcore items, the items that everybody wants that are paying the most for it, that they can get the most chrono for, now become contention. And because it's real money, they are very, very rude and mean about the way they go about getting those camps. And Sony or Daybreak Games, Daybreak Games is not very good. Sony was never really that good either about their play nice policy enforcing it. So a lot of these guys, they know the ins and outs. They do it on p99 too. They know the ins and outs of how raid system works, and they play the system, and they train people, knowing that that character will be, banned or for a month or something like that, be suspended, but they don't care because it's a character on a server all by itself, and they have 14 other accounts, one with each character on it, and again, like they're gaming the system. They know how it works, and they've played it long enough that they can do it. So it does create problems more than it probably solves, but that's all comes down to Daybreak. If they're managing it good enough and they're willing to nip that stuff in the bud before it becomes an issue, then it would be a very pleasant place to be, because I have seen other game companies out there do it, effectively. Someone in your group might roll need a fungi to sell for chrono. Yeah, but that was always a thing. If you're in a group and it's a pug group and you don't know the people, everybody always used to random on everything. It's very, very rare that you'll ever find a game or group of people that will give you items that are worth a lot of money if you need them, and they don't. It's usually every man for himself on there. But that's why I like grouping my friends and the guys that I know, because that's the way we usually do it, is if somebody needs that item, random on it. If you need it for an alt and we don't need it at all and it's just going to be cash, then take it for the alt. Like, we don't care. We're not all about the loot anymore. Rampant kill stealing, yeah, that comes down to Daybreak Games enforcing their play nice policies, which I don't think they even have anymore, right? They got rid of the play nice policies, so now it's just like, go do what you want to do, train people, and kill still and do whatever, as long as you don't bother us. We really don't care. Which is sad. It's kind of sad that it would evolve into that. But that's something I mentioned earlier. When game companies stop taking care and maintaining the servers, that it devolves down into just like, vile and villainy and scum kind of just rampaging over or something. Because they get off on the fact that you care about something, and they see it being destroyed. Like, they really enjoy that kind of thing. At least there's enough people out there that do. On time lock progression, if a 6-box steals your camp, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, again, they're not enforcing anything. One thing I like about Agnar is the instancing. It allows more people to experience the in-game content without all the poop socking. The good and the bad. I mean, you are right. It allows you to experience the in-game content, but it also allows the content to mean far less because everybody has access to it, and it's not worth as much. And there's no challenge to go after the mob. You don't have to compete against the other guilds, and I like that. I like the fact that you can do that. There has to be some middle ground, though, because the poop socking thing is pretty rough. Only the hardcore raiders can do it, and then you get into all that lawyer questing about somebody trained me, and you guys pulled first, and we got this, that, and the game's not supposed to be like lawyer questing. It's not supposed to be, did I look at the fine details before I signed the contract? You're supposed to be able to go off and have fun, kill the mob, without too much of a worry about whether you did things, 100% correct or not. So I like to find some happy medium between instances and poop socking. But whatever that is, we have not created yet, or nobody's thought of it yet and put it into a video game, at least from what I've seen. So that's going to come down the road. Maybe one day we'll look back and be like, why didn't we think about that earlier? The p99 in-game. It can be rough and in-game, but I think it really comes down to the player base. It doesn't have to be that way. It is going to be that way. I live in the real world. I know how the real world works. But it doesn't have to be. In sunshines and rainbows, everybody holding hands and singing Kumbaya, it could be really, really nice. But you guys know how it works. It's not going to happen. I'm playing live currently, and yes, everyone needs everything to sell unless it's a guild group. Yeah. Daybreak doesn't recognize a camp claim, so it's who can kill it first, which creates its own set of problems, but its own set of unique abilities. We talked about this before on raid situations where people would show up with entire groups made out of wizards because they could do the most DPS. And the guilds that had to take the hits decided not to show up anymore, and the wizards would all get spanked. And then you'd have people creating guilds with tanks and wizards. And, they were constantly fighting the balance of who's showing up and who figured out a new method to try to kill still the mob. Again, I don't know if you really want the game to devolve into that, but it was something that would cause tactics to be born, and the guilds would sit there for hours trying to think of what's the other guy going to do to stop us from doing what we're trying to do, almost like a chess match. So kind of cool, but kind of sad at the same time. I don't mind the quality of life improvements on Agnar, but the graphical revamps of Commonland's Freeport are criminally bad. You're not the first person to tell me that Freeport and Commonlands are just notoriously horrible. Nano03, who I do videos with, absolutely hates Freeport and the changes they've made to it. I don't know what to tell you other than that's the direction they went down, and that's what it's going to be until they decide otherwise. But I'm hoping maybe other game companies, including Pantheon, have taken a look back and being like, okay, I realize we have an idea, we have a vision of where we want our game to go, but the fans, the people who actually play the game, even after all this time, really hate that. So maybe not do that again in the future. Some of the other stuff that we introduced that they hated at first, they eventually came to know and like and maybe even love. So we were right to initiate those. But in that one, that's almost a guarantee. Like that's not something you should have ever done. Let's see. The server's going to go down any second, so I'm just staying in. But server coming down in 1 minute. The zone has crashed, and as now restarting, your character will be restored to their last character save. So I don't know when my last character save was, but we'll see what happens here in a second. Example, I have won 3 pieces of loam and smoldering brand on my shaman. Freeport is a mess. Commonlands, I don't mind. They effed up Commonlands, Bro, Oasis, and Steamfire. Yeah, they combined them all together, so there's not as many zone lines. But it's a pain to be in a revamped zone. The zone to a old one. And none of them gets fixed. Time-lapse progressions are just meh. It doesn't even keep that art style. It's not. The game was dying to World of Warcraft, and they succumbed to... I don't even think it's modernization to it. I think it was more of they found a style in World of Warcraft that both suited their game and suited the game base of the players. A lot of the people who were playing World of Warcraft at the time, and I'm not saying, it was 100%, but a lot of the people who were playing the game at the time were younger players, and they wanted something that was easier for anybody, no matter what your skill level was or your knowledge level was, to just come into the game. And they found that with what they went with. Everquest, I think you're right. They did look at the wind and the way things were going and are like, hey, World of Warcraft is making tons of money. Maybe they're doing something right. Maybe we should follow suit, instead of thinking the way that I think they should have, which is we got here first. We have a following. We have a lot of people who like our game the way it is. Maybe we shouldn't follow suit, and we should keep things going down the path that we originally created. And originally the team that we eventually fired and got an entire new team in, completely disagreed with. So, I don't know. I can't guarantee any of those solutions would have worked. And if I was in their position, I can't guarantee I wouldn't have done the same thing. Like, money is money. You got to run a company. You got to pay bills. You got to pay your employees. And you're looking at creating, longevity for them. And sometimes the game gets pushed to the side, and a little bit of oversight on that one needs to be done. I meant the EQ devs, they need it to make their game more attractive to newcomers. Yeah, the newcomer thing, I think the EverQuest in itself, same thing with Pantheon. Pantheon, I think, is going into it with the right mentality. It is a niche group of people that they're trying to go after. And there it goes right there. We have been disconnected. But yeah, it's a niche group that they're going after. They know it, and they're not banking on the fact that they're going to make hundreds and millions of dollars every month on subscriptions and donations and all this other stuff. And they're thinking they're going to make enough to pay the bills and make a living off of it, and at the same time create a game that, who knows, maybe one day will blow up and become like this big success. But if it doesn't, they're going to be happy with it. And not very many games out there, or game companies out there, look at it that way. They're all looking for the big bucks. They all want to be that AAA title that makes it to the home run. And I think, there's mom and pop stores everywhere that make just enough money, and they last for 40, 50 years, and people love them. They go back and back and back to these people, and it becomes like a family tradition to go out to these restaurants every weekend and eat. Same thing with these game companies, man. If you create something good that will last, people will stay. People will stay and people will enjoy. But it's all about mentality, what you're going for. Yo, Pantheon does better than Vanguard. I never played Vanguard, so I don't know. But yeah, there we go. We are out of the game now. There is no way we can get back in. We'll give it a shot here in a little bit, but I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream for now, guys. If anybody knows when the server is supposed to come back up, leave it there in the comment section so I can see. I'm going to look at their webpage here in a second, too, and I'll see if I can find it. But again, if it's only going to be an hour, we'll definitely be back on. If not, maybe tomorrow, guys. As always, I'm AC Gamer. Until next time, hope you guys have a good night, and maybe see you guys here in a bit.